Hey family, welcome back to my video. Today we will see, what if Naruto was overpowered Digixrox in Digimon? Before we start, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the original author of this story for granting us permission to use it in our YouTube video. Your generosity is greatly appreciated. The author's creation and the original stories link in the descriptions. Please do check that first. Now enjoy the video. Child of prophecy and reincarnation of a great sage's son, you had been born within a cursed cycle of hatred and was used to contain a great but corrupted power. You had been exposed to the negativity of the world from the day of birth but refused to let your light be put out but rather shine brighter and reach out to those who had fallen to the darkness and rekindle their light. Your journey was long and painful, and yet you remained steadfast in accomplishing your lifelong mission of everlasting peace even when you weren't aware of it at first until the very end as you and your comrades challenged a being beyond comprehension and emerged victorious. However, evil always seeks to have the last laugh as you took a death blow for one of your comrades. A female voice spoke softly within a dark void as a lone ball of light shone brightly. But we have decided to grant you the gift of rebirth, but in a new world where you will be able to live the life which you truly deserve, a life of happiness and love. But that world and another will be in danger of annihilation unless you take to the battlefield alongside new comrades. Until then, live your new life peacefully. Naruto Uzumaki. A pair of blue eyes suddenly snapped open as its owner sat up from his bed with a trail of sweat flowing down the side of his face as he panted lightly. He looked around to find himself in his bedroom, which is comprised of a bookshelf, closet in one side of the room, a desk which holds a desktop computer in a corner next to a glass screen door which leads to a balcony, and there are posters of ninjas, robots and monsters. The boy let out a loud yawn and stretched his arms to work the kinks out. That was some weird dream. I wonder what it's all about, along with the others that I've also been having. He hopped off the bed and took off his pajamas before making his way out of his room to the bathroom where he took a nice hot shower. Afterwards he wiped himself dry with a towel and approached the sink as he wiped the steam off the mirror to show his reflection. He possesses spiky blonde hair and oddly enough 3 markings on each of his cheeks, which many say gives him the appearance of a mischievous fox. Something he doesn't seem to mind but can't help but feel that he had heard it several times before somewhere. He was brushing his teeth when he heard a feminine voice call out to him from downstairs. Naruto-kun, breakfast is almost ready, so hurry up while it's hot. Okay Ka-chan, I'll be down soon, Naruto responded. Then he quickly finished up and ran back into his room and took out some clothes from the closet which he then put on. He wears an orange t-shirt with red flame designs at the edges of the sleeves and hem, orange cargo shorts with black edges and a pair of black and white sneakers. Naruto turned to leave when something glinted in his eye. He looked to see something on the desk, which is a black headband with a metal plate which has the symbol of a leaf with a swirl pattern etched into the metal. Naruto picked it up and looked at the symbol but can't help but feel that he has to keep it close to him at all times. He wore it around his neck for the meantime and quickly made his way downstairs to the kitchen where he saw his parents there waiting. The father is a brown-haired man with a goatee as he wears a white shirt, black trousers and a pair of executive shoes, and he was currently reading a newspaper. The mother is a red-haired woman, wearing a blue blouse, yellow skirt reaching to her knees and a white apron since she was cooking. Both smiled upon seeing Naruto enter the kitchen and sat at the table with them. One would wonder why Naruto doesn't resemble any of them. The truth of the matter was that they adopted Naruto from the orphanage when he was still a baby and lived happily together through the years to date. Hey there sport, how's it going? Asked the father, Orito Moriguchi. Hi to-san, I'm doing fine. Just had another one of those weird dreams again about me being a ninja, said Naruto while taking a piece of toast to his plate and slathering it with butter before taking a bite. Another dream, Naruto-kun. What is this one about? Asked the mother, Harubara Moriguchi. Well, I was in this forest and facing a red-haired kid with black markings around his eyes which made him look like a raccoon and a red tattoo on the side of his forehead. He had a large gourd on his back. He was using sand to bind a girl with pink hair and threatened to kill her unless I fight him. I did, but was losing very badly, then pulled off a super technique where I created a lot of Miis enough to fill a school and were laying on the pressure at him, said Naruto. Sounds to you like you're going to win, said Orito, looking quite interested. That's what I was thinking too, but then he suddenly transformed into a giant raccoon made entirely of sand and was about to crush me when I did something and summoned a giant toad wielding a Giant sword. We fought long and hard, and then I was able to take him down with a headbutt. But that's when I woke up before I could learn more. These are really strange dreams, but what could they mean? Asked Harubara curiously. I don't know, but I can't help but feel like it really happened and I was there, said Naruto with a slight frown. I'm sure you'll find out what it means eventually. Anyways, you need to hurry up and get to school. It's your last day before you begin your vacation, said Harubara. Oh right. I almost forgot. Naruto wolfed down the rest of his breakfast and gave his parents a hug as he grabbed his backpack and was running for the front door. I'm off to school. Have a great day, both parents called out. With a nod of affirmation, Naruto was out of the door and went to unlock his BMX bike before taking the elevator to the ground floor of the apartment which his family are living in. Soon out he was pedaling down the street as fast as he could towards his destination whilst making sure to avoid the pedestrians and cars. It took about 10 minutes but Naruto had arrived at the school. He got off the bike and went to lock it over at the parking lot. He was walking towards the school block when he heard someone calling out his name. Hey Naruto, wait up. He turned around and smiled upon seeing who it was. He is a teenage boy about his height with brown shaggy hair. He wears a black t-shirt under a blue one which has a symbol of a white oval with yellow borders and a yellow T in the chest, black leggings under brown shorts and belt, a red sleeveless jacket, green goggles, a pair of white gloves, and red and white tennis shoes. Yo Taiki, how's it going bud? Asked Naruto. I'm doing pretty good, just practicing like crazy to help out the basketball club for their match in a couple of days. Turns out their regular players are out of commission due to being sick from food poisoning, said Taiki. That sounds pretty rough. Does Akari know about this? Taiki looked nervously away at that question. You forgot to tell her again. Dude, you know how much she becomes worried when you go off to do stuff like this? You better call her after school. Naruto deadpanned at his best friend. He knows Taiki has the tendency to never turn his back on others, something Naruto himself also does, as well as always fulfilling his promises no matter what. That's why their friend Akari often makes sure that they don't go overboard, but Naruto could tell that she has a bit of attachment to Taiki but keeps quiet about it after being threatened by her. Women are definitely scary no matter the age. Okay, I will. So what will you be doing after school? Asked Taiki. Just my usual routine. I was kinda hoping that you could join me in helping the basketball club out with their match too, since you're one of the most athletic guys in the school, like Taiki said. Naruto is known in the school and neighborhood for his high level of athletics, with many are awed by his speed and strength. It's cool. Now let's get to class before the bell rings, said Naruto as they both hurried to their classrooms. From Naruto's POV, school is nothing more than a system made to torture people with words and idleness as he fights back against the drowsiness which constantly tries to overcome him, which will then get him into trouble with the teachers, and he definitely doesn't want that on his last day of school before the blessed vacation. Sure enough, the bell finally rang to signal the end of school, and Naruto joyfully ran out of the classroom towards the locker. He opened it up and came across something rather strange. It was a small white parcel which was never there before, but what surprised him was the symbol on the box matching that of the one on his headband. Then he saw a small note which read, "Do not open until you're alone." What is inside and who put it inside my locker? Thought Naruto confusedly, placed it inside his backpack and made his way back to his bike after bidding Taiki farewell and rode to an abandoned warehouse located at the harbor. He used to come to this place to experiment some of the techniques that he saw in those dreams. He couldn't perform those jutsus, but he pretty much mimicked the hand-to-hand combat pretty well, along with the ability to traverse the environment up to a certain limit. This also granted him the ability to perform parkour too. Naruto sat on top of a steel beam laying on the floor and took out the parcel from his bag. Now to see what's inside. Hope it's not a bomb. Naruto carefully opened the parcel and reached inside to take out its contents. It is a blue electronic handheld device closely resembling that of a GBA or PSP. On the side of the device is a retractable cover which conceals a slot and a USB port. On the right side of the device is a large circular button having the spiraling leaf symbol. In the middle is a screen which is currently turned off, and to the left are two buttons, a directional pad and an LED. Naruto searched further to find a grip attachment which possesses a control stick, a wireless USB receiver, a holster for the device, and a pouch full of chips which seemed to be meant for the device, but their pictures were all grayed out. I admit that it looks pretty cool and all, but what is it and who sent it? Naruto looked inside the parcel and found an envelope. He opened it and began to read the letter inside. Greetings Naruto Uzumaki. If you're reading this, then it means that the time draws near for which the world, or to be more specific worlds, are in great danger and your help is needed once more like you did before in your former world. So I need you to pay attention to what I'm going to say. Naruto quirked an eyebrow in confusion. What are you talking about? What's this about worlds or me coming from an old world? At the moment, while you do not know who you truly are yet, you will soon find out along your journey in the future. Those dreams which you've been having are actually memories of your past life returning to you. You had gone through so much back then but didn't receive the end you deserved, so the gods decided to give you a second life in this one. As of now, you do not have your old powers and abilities, which is why we sent a suitable substitute to you to match the conditions of what you're going to encounter. This device is called the Progress Pet, which is similar to the ones you currently know but is far more advanced. It will remain inactive until the time comes for when it is needed. Remember your Nindo and reignite your will of fire. Those unique aspects of yours will awaken the hero sleeping within you. Signed Ho. Naruto sat there, feeling more confused, and took a deep breath to calm his nerves. Hang on a minute. So those dreams I was having were actually memories of my past? I guess it now makes sense since I saw myself doing all those things. I wonder if they're all doing okay. But what Nindo is he talk of? He suddenly clutched his head as it throbbed in pain, forcing him to his knees, and gritted his teeth with his eyes closed to endure it. Then he heard his own voice echo in his mind. Okay. I've just come to a decision. From now on, I'm finding my own ninja way. A way that's straight and true and without any regrets. From now on, I'm following the way of Naruto. The pain went away after that, and Naruto slowly got back to his feet as a warm smile appeared on his face at that particular memory. That's right. How could I have forgotten that? To never run away, to never go back on my word, that is my Nindo, my ninja way. He opened his eyes to reveal flames which had been smothered in the years and are now blazing wildly just like they used to back then. Naruto packed everything up and rode out of the warehouse on his bike. He screeched to stop close to the riverbank and looked towards the city in direction of his home. A hero's work is never finished, even when reborn in another world. It looks like my break is almost over and it will soon be time to go wild. Looks like some baddies are about to find out just who Naruto Uzumaki is. He smirked in anticipation, then continued his trip to his home to rest and prepare for training. This is Husbeck Online with a chapter to a new story. Naruto will be venturing into the digital world in the next chapter. His chakra is currently dormant for the meantime and Kurama is nowhere to be seen. So he has been given a substitute to combat the opposition. Naruto will be given the X-Loader and become a general with his own army. He'll eventually meet up with Taiki and the others but will start on his own at a separate zone. There'll be a harem which will be revealed in the next chapter as well. So till then, read and review. This is Husbeck from Ghana. Signing out. The Maelstrom takes a data dive. Ninja of the Digixrox. Battle Network Chapter 1. The Maelstrom takes a data dive. It's been about a week since Naruto received the mysterious package and realized his true identity. He had been reincarnated into another world as a reward for everything he did in his old world and to also help save it from yet another potential disaster. As of now, he couldn't use chakra, hence is denied access to his signature jutsus, so he has to make do with what he's got and can use. At the moment, Naruto is currently inside the abandoned warehouse doing a speedrun and using the objects around him as a makeshift obstacle course. He dashed along the rafters and swung round the hanging pillars, then jumped off towards the wall to the side and slammed his against it to slide down along before kicking off too. Landing on the ground with a roll, he ran up a slanted steel beam to vault over a wooden crate with a flip to grind along a long iron pipe to the other side as he jumped to grab the edge of a scaffold and pull himself over. Naruto ran to the other side and performed a long jump to grab to a vertical pole as he swiveled around it multiple times in his descent to the ground and finally skidded to a stop. Phew, that was quite a rush. Naruto walked over to his backpack to take out a bottle of water and a towel to wipe the sweat off, now to see if I still got the moves. Naruto moved to the center of and took a combat stance which he recalled from the memories of his past, then began to perform katas, which involves punches and kicks of varying speed and power that it meant to confuse his opponents and make them unable to predict his next moves, one of the many reasons for his unique title of the most unpredictable ninja of Konoha. He performed a front flip to land on his hands and perform a double kick and flipped again only higher to descend with a heel drop kick with a follow-up of a jumping uppercut. After a while, he stopped to catch a breath and went to sit on the steel beam where his bag was placed on. THSE moves would have been more lethal if I were using my shadow clones. I really miss using my jutsus and now I'm going to get involved in another big event. Well, there's no way I'm going to let some jerk mess with this peaceful world or the other just because he wants to have his own way. He took out his smartphone and flipped it open only for his eyes to widen upon seeing the time. Oh, I gotta go pick up the package that Ka-san ordered. Naruto put on his backpack and ran out of the warehouse to jump onto his bike as he took off as fast as he could for the post office. To the many passerbys he was nothing more than a blur in their eyes as Naruto took alternate routes like the alleyways and once through a car wash until he was able to make in time for the arrival of the package for him to relax a bit. He was casually riding back home when he saw Taiki and Akari along with a third with whom he is familiar with in a rather humorous way. He is a tall teenage boy with spiked dark brown hair. He wears a forest green button-up shirt with 2 pockets on the chest and the sleeves rolled up over his elbows over a light blue t-shirt, light brown cargo pants held up by a dark brown belt with a silver buckle, and brown and dark green saddle shoes. The boy also seems to be carrying a large brown bag and a pair of shinai, so Naruto passed over to say hi to them. Hey guys, Naruto slowed to a stop before them, catching their attention. Hey Naruto. Taiki waved at him. The boy pointed at him in a dramatic manner. You, Naruto Moriguchi, my destined rival. You finally revealed yourself for our showdown. Now we can finally settle the score for the best junior swordsman and I shall defeat you or my name's not Zenjiro Tsurugi. Yo Zenjiro, it's been a while but I've been busy doing some training myself, said Naruto with an awkward smile. It's to be expected of my destined rival to continuously strengthen himself despite his many victories. A drive to be approved by myself. Zenjiro nodded to himself in approval. Do you know this guy? Asked Akari looking a bit spooked out. Yeah I do. I've been going to a kendo dojo in the Koto district for some training in using a sword and that's where I met Zenjiro who became my constant sparring partner, Naruto explained to the others. And it was on that blessed day that I met my destined rival and strived to overcome him, but his sword's style proved to be a great force to be cautious of and I'm yet to prevail, said Zenjiro with a clenched fist of determination. Naruto shivered as he could have sworn that he saw a ghostly image of Might Guy standing behind him and doing the same thing. I thought you said that I was your destined rival? Asked Taiki confusedly. Actually you're my second destined rival, for the first will always be him. Zenjiro pointed at Naruto dramatically. Now let's fight and end this once and for all. I can't right now. I gotta deliver a package to my mom first. We can spar the next time we meet, okay? Naruto rode off before Zenjiro could say anything. Naruto arrived at his home and handed the package to his mother before heading upstairs to his room where he took a bath to wash off the sweat before changing into a cleaner set of clothes, being a black t-shirt with an unzipped sleeveless hoodie vest with white fur along the collar as the outside is colored red and the inner being yellow, a pair of brown cargo pants with pockets, and a pair of red and black sneakers. Naruto plopped himself on the bed and stared at the ceiling. He couldn't help but feel a little anxious about all this. He's been playing the waiting game for a while now and the battle vibe is really getting to him like it had always been since his days as a ninja. Naruto slowly closed his eyes and was about to beep, 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 beep. He suddenly sat up in his bed at the unfamiliar sound of beeping which was coming from his backpack. Naruto unzipped it and took out the source of the beeping sound, which happens to be the pet which was given to him earlier and had been inactive until now. He pushed the big button bearing the Konoha symbol and the screen then lit up to project a holographic screen which was currently displaying a map of the city and there was a blinking spot of light at a certain location. Naruto was at first confused but he realized exactly what this all means. The time has come. Naruto hopped off the bed and went over to his closet and opened it to take a red backpack and Google Osprey Escapist 32 for image, which he had purchased with his savings and stocked with necessities during the week. Naruto strapped it onto his back and took the pet in hand as he ran out of the house and bid his mother farewell beforehand but not telling her exactly what he is up to. He also chose to leave the bike behind as he ran. Along the way, Naruto took notice of multiple electronics around him acting abnormally and even the skies took on the appearance of pixels every 5 seconds. All these oddities confirm that there is an unstable link between both worlds and he needs to hurry and cross over to the other side. Naruto followed the directions all the way into a dark alleyway which he went through to the end but didn't see anything out of the ordinary. Now that I'm here, what's next? Muttered Naruto while looking at the blinking light on the map. Suddenly there were yellow sparks of energy in the air before him, then it burst into a bright flash of light which caused Naruto to shield his eyes with arm and waited for the light to die down a bit for him to look. What is that? Before him is what appears to be a gray handheld device with the upper part resembling a microphone, a turquoise view screen, a click wheel with a center button of confirming selections, and a slot at the sides for inserting chips. Naruto was about to take a step closer to it when he heard Bodiless speak out to him. "You have arrived, child of prophecy," said the voice which apparently sounds like a male. "Guess my title is known here too, huh?" Naruto muttered as he approached the floating device. "You do wish to step into the battlefield once more?" "Of course I do. There are a lot of people close to my heart in this hole and there are others who surely need my help at the other side. There's no way I'm going to sit idly by and do nothing about it," said Naruto with eyes of determination. The voice was silent for a moment before speaking once more. "What is your name?" "In this world, I'm known to be Naruto Moriguchi, but my true name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze," Naruto declared loudly with his name echoing around him. Suddenly the view screen of the device lit up as it changed color from gray to orange with red flames. "Very well then, use this Xaro's loader," then said device floated up to Naruto for him to take. "Okay then, let's get this show on the road." Naruto reached out and grabbed the device only for the upper part of it to slide upwards and reveal a golden V-shaped emblem. Then he felt himself being sucked into a green vortex consisting of multiple matrices of data as he fell through and soon lost consciousness. Naruto slowly opened his eyes as he woke up and got to his feet after noticing that he was sprawled out on the ground and decided to take a look around his surroundings when he reached into his backpack to take out a pair of binoculars to help him see better. So far, he was standing in the middle of a rocky area, although he located bits of forestry in the distance, and further ahead is a tall mountain which turns out to be an active volcano, and nothing more to see so far. So this is the other world. Kinda feels the same, but then again I haven't exactly gone anywhere yet, said Naruto with a shrug. Might as well pick a random direction to meet with a friendly and get some info just like Pervy Sage once taught me. Naruto picked up a wooden stick and left things to his devil's luck as he tossed it into the air and waited for it to fall back to the ground and point at the forest. "Guess I'm going that way." He secured his backpack and strode into the forest whilst keeping an eye out for anything which might pop up. It was a bit of a trek. Naruto easily noticed that the trees are far different from the ones back in the human world. He felt a bit snackish and took out a bag of potato chips to eat as he walked. He recalled the times when he and Choji would get together with Shikamaru to chow down on some snacks whenever they play hooky from the academy. Man, those were the good times before everything went to hell when the Akatsuki reared its ugly head. At least the elemental nations is at peace after everything that happened. He popped another chip into his mouth to munch on and reached for Aneth. Boom. Naruto almost dropped his bag of chips from the sudden sound of explosion, and it seemed to be coming from up ahead of him. He dashed towards the source but with caution to avoid any potential dangers. Naruto broke through the trees to find himself standing atop a ledge overlooking the landscape below. There was a clearing below. There he saw what appears to be a large army of creatures and immediately took to scoping them out. There are countless humanoids in gray bodysuits with gas masks and wielding rifles, giant mammoth-like beasts, flying creatures resembling jets and pterodactyls. There are also several having resemblances to that of dinosaurs amongst them too. Suddenly, Naruto felt something vibrating on his right thigh and looked to see a holster with the Xaro's loader inside. He took the device out for it to project a hologram of the creatures below. Troopmon, Mammothmon, Terramon, Black Greymon and Tyrannomon. So that's what they are and are all known to be Digimon. Man, I really got myself neck deep into this one, Naruto muttered to himself. He snapped back to attention when he heard a loud voice below. Better surrender now and stop this futile resistance. You're no match against the might of the Bagra army. Naruto looked once more to see a Digimon standing in front of the army. It is a giant green muscular bipedal dinosaur with two rhinoceros-like horns on its head, multiple horns on its back, red stripes all over its body, too. Large red striped black tusks protruding from its and ending near its nose, and it also has a skull and crossbones tattoo on its left shoulder. The XRO's loader identified it to be Tuskmon. Naruto then noticed yet another Digimon facing it and the army, but is rather smaller. It is a quadrupedal dragon-like Digimon with white armored skin, dark blue claws, gold eyes, and horns. It dons a red tattered cloak with a hood that has goggles embedded in it. At the moment, Naruto could see traces of bruises on its body and is panting lightly in exhaustion. "Save your breath, Tuskmon. There's no way I'm ever going to surrender to the Bagra army," said the white Digimon, which the XRO's loader identified to be Huckman. "You're right, after all." Tuskmon's clawed fist ignited in flames. "You're going to die here." He rushed up to Huckman with his fist raised high and swung it downwards. Then a blur swooped by and grabbed Huckman to carry him away before the strike landed to form a large, much to his confusion. "What? Phew, that was a close call." Everyone turned towards the voice only to be shocked upon seeing a human standing in front of Huckman and realized that he was the one who saved the Digimon, with said creature being just as surprised at all this. "What is a human doing here? Doesn't really matter. You need to run away or you'll be killed," said Huckman. "Is that the thanks I get for saving your life?" asked Naruto with a quirked eyebrow. "Not that I'm not thankful, but humans can't really fight Digimon as they are. It's too late for that. His actions have proven to oppose the Bagra army and he shall die as well," said Tuskmon, with the others growling at the duo. Huckman gritted his teeth in frustration. "Damn it, I'm already worn out and I gotta protect this kid. Man, this is going to be tough." Naruto took out the pet from the left holster. "I thought you said this thing will help me, so start helping." Beep, beep, beep. The pet's screen lit up and was displaying a metallic blue chip with a green crystalline dome on its center, surrounded by a black edge plus a line extending in an irregular manner across the left flank of it. There is also a crest depicting a red circle with a black line running diagonally through the center, which ends in two triangles, all of which is surrounded by a gold ring just below that black line. Then there were the words, "Insert chip for digital infusion." Digital infusion? I don't know what it is, but it had better be useful. Naruto reached into the pouch to take out the chip. The cover of the pet retracted for him to insert the chip. The screen displayed two halves of a hexagon linking together as Naruto was encased in a dome of blinding light which caught everyone's attention. What's happening to that human?" said Huckman confusedly. Inside the dome, the pet dispersed into blue pixels and swirled around Naruto. Blue boots formed around his feet, followed by the forearms having blue gloves formed around them too. Yellow shoulder plates appeared next with a blue power pack latching onto his back, an emblem depicting the Konoha symbol stuck onto the center of Naruto's chest. An indigo bodysuit with cyan stripes running along his body to form a pattern materialized. A blue helmet with yellow ear pads took form. Two curved extensions materialized and spread along the surface as a yellow and green colored crest formed on the forehead, and finally Naruto's hair grew out from behind the helmet near the lower edge. Refer to the cover image. The dome faded out to reveal Naruto's new look to everyone, with said ninja feeling a lot of information flow into his mind and smirked at what he can do now. "It seems like I can fight Digimon now, so you won't have to worry anymore." He stood next to the awestruck Huckman as the face guard activated. Alright then, let's see what you can do," said Huckman. "It doesn't matter, there's only two of them, so attack," said Tuskmon. Then the army complied and charged at the duo. Naruto waited for one of the troopmon to approach him, then he took a quick step forward and rapidly jabbed it in the chest and followed it up with a haymaker punch to the face to send it flying. The HUD beeped to alert him of an enemy attacking from behind, and he leapt high into the air before turning to see a troopmon firing at him with its rifle. Naruto held out his right hand for it to morph into an arm cannon. Megabuster. He took aim and fired energy bullets to take it down and disperse into yellow specks of data. Naruto landed back on the ground and performed short dashes from left to right constantly, whilst firing the Megabuster upon the enemy. The Mammothman charged at Naruto to ram him with their long tusks, forcing him to leap out of the way to evade the attack. Time to bust out the arsenal. Battle chip, cannon. The Megabuster switched to a green-yellow cannon as he took aim at the Mammothman and fired several powerful rounds to destroy them. Some of them pointed their trunks and spewed cold breath at Naruto, which instantly encased him in a block of ice. "Oh no, Hang on, I'm coming. Huckman used his tail to bash away a troopmon before running to help the human, but several more troopmons intercepted him. Get out of my way. FIF/. He pounced at the enemies with his claws glinting in the sunlight as he rapidly slashed at them in a blitz to draw closer. Then he noticed that the ice beginning to steam and heard the human's voice. Battleship. Flame wheel. Flames erupted from Naruto's body which melted the ice completely, then he curled himself up into a ball before launching at the Mammothman and slamming into them consecutively until they defeated. Naruto shivered a bit from the cold, but otherwise he was okay. He looked to see that Huckman was having some trouble against some black Greymon and dashed over to assist. Battleship. Timpani. He summoned a creature resembling a standing microphone which began playing a loud tune to render the black Greymon unable to move. Take M out while they're not moving right now. Battleship hammer. Naruto's right arm morphed into a large cyan hammer. He lunged at the immobile black Greymon and whammed them with great force to take out. Right. Teen ram. Huckman rotated his tail at high speed like that of a drill, then thrust it at his targets and destroying them to reduce the numbers. Baby flame. He opened his mouth to spew a stream of red flames in a wide arc for additional damage. Naruto flipped in the air and landed while standing back to back with the dragon Digimon. Hey, you're pretty good. Naruto looked back with a non-visible smirk. Right back at ya. He looked up to see Terramon diving at them and firing missiles at the duo. Stay close to me. Battleship. Barrier. He crossed his arms as a large translucent dome encased both him and Huckman to deflect the incoming missiles, then switched to the offensive. Battleship. Double Vulcan 1. His arms transformed into guns with multiple barrels which began to spin as bullets shot out of them, with Huckman using his baby flame for support to shoot them all down. Tuskmon watched the battle in disbelief. How can this be? They've already reduced our army to half. This can't stand. Attack with full force. The Tyrannomon and remaining black Greymon rushed to attack the duo all at once. Pant, this doesn't look good at all. We'll lose at this rate, said Huckman, reaching his limit. Don't give up, Huckman. You and I share that drive to keep on fighting and win no matter what. So there's no way we're throwing in the towel now. Huckman was stunned at what he just heard. It reminds him of that Digimon whom he admires and aspires to be like him. He got to his feet and went to stand next to Naruto with a toothy grin. You're right, we're just getting started. That's right. At that moment, there was a bright glow emanating from Huckman, and he wasn't the only one, as Naruto took note of the Xaro's loader's viewscreen glowing as well, and he held it out. Everyone else's eyes widened in recognition of the device. That's a Xaro's loader. Then that makes you a... Tuskmon couldn't say anymore due to the growing sense of unease within himself. A golden beam fell from the sky and engulfed Huckman, with the Digimon himself being re-energized and gaining more power by the second, enough power for him too. Huckman digivolved too. His body began to undergo drastic changes. He grew twice in size, with the claws of his forelegs appearing much sharper with white tips and his hind legs turning into blades. His red tattered cloak was longer, with the hood having pointed metal tips to give the appearance of pointed teeth. His tail grew longer with a long gray blade attached to the tip. Bow Huckman. He let out a mighty roar which caused the enemy to stop in its track. Dude, what just happened to you? Asked Naruto. I digivolved because of you and the Xaro's loader, said Bow Huckman. Really, I guess that means you can kick some more butt then. Let's take it to M. Naruto dashed at the enemy. Right. Bow Huckman was quick to follow and had soon engaged some Tyrannomon in close combat as he easily avoided the swipes from their sharp claws before switching to attack. FIF cross. He rapidly slashed at the Tyrannomon with his razor-sharp claws coated with red energy, causing them to disperse into data upon defeat. He looked behind to see one of them rushing towards him with its head lowered for a headbutt and so spun round. Burn flame. Then he opened his mouth to spew a powerful stream of flame which intercepted the target and burned it to cinders. Meanwhile, Naruto was fighting some of the Tyrannomon as well, though having slight trouble here and there with their claws and flame attacks. Battleship. Step cross. Both arms transformed into two energy and disappeared before some and reappeared right behind them with the blades held out. Then slashes appeared on their bodies as they dispersed into scattered data. Now for the big finish. Battleship. Bulk bomb. A massive black ball with a long wick appeared above Naruto, which he caught with some trouble with the weight before flinging it into the middle of the group. Hey buddy. I need a light over here. Bao Huckman turned to see Naruto pointing at the bomb and quickly got the idea. I'm on it. Burn flame. He launched another fire attack to ignite the fuse, make the bomb explode in a wide radius and wiping out the enemies by the majority. Our retreat. We didn't anticipate this at all. Return to base and regroup. Master Tyrannomon needs to hear of this. Tuskmon turned towards the duo with hatred in his eyes. You haven't seen the last of us. The next time we meet, you'll be destroyed. He led the remainder of the Bagra army away from the battlefield, leaving the human and Digimon behind. Naruto and Baohukmon's body began to glow faintly as the former's armor dispersed into pixels, then converged to form the pet, which then dropped into his hands with the synchro chip popping out from the slot. The latter shrunk back to its default size and was Huckman once more. Both looked at each other and smirked before doing a high five for their victory. Looks we showed them who's boss around here, said Naruto. Huckman nodded in agreement. That we did, and it was mostly thanks to you. I never would have thought that I would meet a general. Naruto tilted his head in confusion. A general, you mean me? That's right. A general is someone who possesses Xaros code, which is the potential to wield the Xaros loader and perform the Digixrox technique aside from being able to help a Digimon digivolve into a much stronger form than the previous, said Huckman. I get the digivolve part a bit, but what do you mean by Digixrox? It is a special technique where the general uses the Xaros loader to combine two or more allied Digimon into a much stronger form which could contend with stronger Digimon than when alone. I've been hearing of others like you in the digital war who are currently at war with the Bagra army. I'm guessing that's why you're here. Naruto nodded in affirmation. That's right. I was told about there being a problem in this world and decided to come over and help you guys out with it. I may not know who sent you, but I'm glad you showed up when you did, or I would have been done for, said Huckman. No thanks necessary. Though could you help me out by leading me to a town so that I can get my bearings? I can help with that, but I'm planning to stick with you throughout all this, said Huckman, much to Naruto's surprise. You shouldn't be stunned. We were the bomb out here against the Bagra army. There's no way I'm letting a powerful tag team break up just like that, so what do you say, partner? Naruto was silent for a few moments, making Huckman feel a bit nervous. Then he went down on one knee and responded with a foxy grin. I was gonna say the same thing and you beat me to it. Let's go save the digital world alongside our future friends, partner. Huckman was ecstatic at being accepted when he saw Naruto hold a fist out to him. He got the gesture and bumped fists with his. At that moment, both felt a strong being formed between them and smiled at each other. By the way, I realized that in all the excitement we didn't introduce ourselves. My name's Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, but you can just call Naruto as I don't like formalities, said Naruto. You're right. Well, mine's Huckman, though the name changes whenever I digivolve. Anyway, let's get you over to Fanged Village where the more peaceful dinosaur-type Digimon reside over here in the Dino Zone. Alaman is the chief of the village and I'm sure he can tell you more. Gotcha. Now let's get going. What's the matter? Naruto noticed that Huckman looked very nervous all of a sudden. I just realized that I had left to fight the Bagra army without telling the Sistermon. They're gonna be so mad at me. Huckman gulped in fear, especially when one of them came into mind. Yikes, I'm sure they'll calm down once we tell of how we took an army by ourselves and all that. Afterwards, I can share some of my ramen stash with you. Believe me, it always eases the mood after a scolding. Naruto patted his back cheerfully. Thanks a lot, Naruto. It won't turn out so bad, I hope, said Huckman as they began the trek towards the designated destination. This is Huspec Online with the latest chapter. Naruto has prepped himself for the digital world and is now in it to win it. He meets a Digimon called Huckman and teamed up to battle the Bagra army whistled using a special transformation and actually had his partner digivolve during battle. Now the duo are making their way to a village to gather further information as well as allies to battle against Bagramon and his dark generals. Naruto's transformation is similar to the cross fusion, but this is without a netnavi to avoid confusion. However, there will be several power-ups such as the style change, soul unison, cross change and beast out, so be sure to look forward to their appearance. I've decided to make the Xaros loader capable of digivolution aside from the default feature of Digixrox for a wider range of possibilities in the story. Here is a list of Naruto's army. Hackmon, partner, Coronaman Lunaman. Ryudamon Oramon Canonbeamon Sistermon Noir, Harem, Sistermon Blanc, Harem, Sistermon Seal, Harem, Basedman, Harem, Zubamon. Doramon Gatamon Anjuamon, Harem, Black Gatamon Lady Devamon, Harem. Renamon Sakuyamon, Harem. Ranamon, Harem. Lilymon, Harem. Lilimon, Harem. Naruto will also be attaining a weapon for use aside from his transformation along with special digicards unique to him alone. Nene is in the harem too. This is Husbeck from Ghana, signing out. An info dump to Frontal Blitz Ninja of the Digixrox Battle Network. Chapter 2. An info dump to Frontal Blitz. Naruto and Huckman were currently walking along the path towards the village which the latter was leading them to for the blonde to acquire more information about what's going on, though in the meantime they were having a fun conversation about random topics. "Get out of here, did that really happen?" asked Huckman in mild disbelief. "I kid you not, the dude was able to recite the entire alphabet in one burp and I was there to witness it. We had to give him kudos for being able to pull it off. The girls thought it gross but hey, it's a guy thing," said Naruto with a shrug of his shoulders. "Wow, the human world sounds like a fun place to hang out. I've been hearing bits about it from the Systemons when they used to live there." "Yeah, it is, but the digital world is just as interesting even though I just got here besides those dorks who seem to want to make a mess of it," said Naruto with a small frown. Huckman frowned too. "Yeah. Those jerks have been making a mess of the zones and everyone are on edge whenever they show up. It kinda reminds me of the war which I took part in years ago." "You were in a war before?" Huckman was surprised and then curious since his new friend is a kid. Naruto smiled bitterly. "That's a story for another time which I'll be sure to tell you when I'm ready." "Oh okay." Huckman noticed Naruto take a small rubber bag from his backpack and was eating something from it. "Say, what are you eating?" "Potato chips. A snack from the human world. Care to try one?" Naruto held a chip out. "Sure thanks." Naruto tossed the chip for Huckman to catch in his mouth and chew a few times before swallowing. "Whoa, it tastes awesome. Can I have another?" "Sure thing. I packed a lot of snacks among other foods inside my bag to last for a while," said Naruto tossing another chip towards Huckman. "You don't need to worry about food though. There's Diginoir that humans can eat too and are really delicious. You gotta try it out while here in the digital world," said Huckman. "I think I will. By the way, are we at the village yet?" asked Naruto. "Actually, we've just arrived. You can see the village at the top of the hill." "Really?" Naruto scampered up to the top of the view and saw the village ahead of them. It was a wide valley with tall rock walls where you could see multiple cave entrances naturally carved into them and numerous Digimon were going about the daily routines. Whoa. Naruto watched in awe and his Xaro's loader was beeping constantly for him to pick up and scan the Digimon. Kuromon, Agumon, Triceramon, Brachiomon, Monochromon. That makes sense since this zone is based on dinosaurs. Huckman walked up next to him. "Let's get down there so I can take you to meet the leader of Fanged Village." Naruto nodded with the duo making their way down to the village via the ledged pathways. Many of the Digimon were looking at Naruto with looks of surprise and curiosity but didn't feel too tense since the human is being accompanied by Huckman whom they're familiar with. Suddenly a voice called out towards the duo, particularly one of them. "There you are, Huckman," said a feminine voice. Huckman paled. "Oh no." Naruto turned to see who it is and was rather taken aback. There were two human-shaped girls dressed like nuns. The difference between them is that one is dressed in black with a klobuk in the shape of a black cat's head with long ears while the other is dressed in light pink with her klobuk resembling a long-eared white rabbit and appears to be holding a triple-pronged lance in her hands. Naruto gulped upon seeing the black nun looking very angry while the other seemed upset. "Okay, Buster. Just where were you when we weren't looking?" asked the black nun. "We were very worried about, especially since we've heard of the Bagra army being here in this zone," said the white nun gently. Well, Huckman was sweating, not knowing what exactly to say which won't get him hurt. Poor guy, he's got the equivalents of Ino and Hinata looking after him. Naruto smiled in nostalgia at the comparison, then he noticed that the girls were now looking at him which took the blonde by surprise. What is it? And what is a human doing here with you? How did you two even meet anyway?" asked the black nun curiously. Huckman was sweating by now. He looked to Naruto for help but he could only shake his head in resignation. We well met when I was fighting with the Bagra army, he fessed up and prepared for the hurricane. Whack. The poor mini dragon was now nursing a large lump on his head after being bonked hard in the head by the black nun who was holding up a silver T-shaped handgun with a frown on her face. You idiot! What gave you the bright idea to go up against an army? Wait till Big Sis hears about this. The dragon was now truly scared and began pleading desperately. No, please don't tell her. I'll do anything as long as you don't tell her. The black nun suddenly smirked. Naruto recognized that look anywhere due to being victim to it courtesy of Ino and Sakura. Whenever he gets them angry by mistake and would end up being a pack mule for their shopping, in that case, I'll take 3 packs of Diginoir whenever you get some. Sister, that's enough. Please, we haven't introduced ourselves to Huckmon's friend, said the white nun quietly. Oh, that's right. The black nun turned towards Naruto with an impish grin. My name's Sistermon Noir, but you can just call me Noir. The white nun stepped forward with a polite bow. Hello. My name is Sistermon Blanc. It's nice to meet you. She went to hide behind Noir before shyly poking out to look at him. My name's Naruto Uzumaki. It's nice to meet you all too, said Naruto with a foxy grin, causing Blanc to blush a bit while Noir simply smiled. Same here, though my sister and I are curious to ask how you were able to help this dummy here. Asked Noir. Blanc nodded shyly, reminding the blonde of how Hinata used to act just like that. I helped him out because of these. Naruto took out the Xaro's loader and pet to show it to them, causing the Sistermon to widen their eyes and even heard gasps from some of the Digimon passing by. Why, you're a general? Asked Blanc. That's what Huckman called me. I was requested to come to the digital world to help when I ran into Huckman fighting the Bagra army and used the Xaro's loader to have him digivolve after using the pet to transform into a stronger form to fight alongside him and drove them away. Even became my partner afterwards before coming here to learn more of what's going on, Naruto explained. In that case, we gotta thank you for helping Huckman. Since you're going to meet the leader of the village, we can take you there, said Noir. I would like that, thanks a lot, said Naruto. Then he followed the Sistermon with Huckman walking up next to him looking peeved. You could have helped, you know? Huckman grumbled. Sorry about that, but it was better simply going through with than delaying the inevitable, said Naruto. Fine, but I'll like some of your potato chips though, no prob, still got some left. Cool. The small group made their way through a cave into a room where they found wooden furniture about amongst other interior decor. There they saw a bipedal dinosaur-type Digimon with blue skin with red stripes on its body. It has green eyes, a light blue belly and front neck. It also has red hair, white feathers with red tip and red and yellow striped feathers on the back of its head, which reminded Naruto of Indians in a way, with his Xaro's loader identifying the Digimon as Alaman. The Digimon turned round and was mildly surprised at the sight of the human and then the Xaro's loader in his hand, but at the same time was relieved as well. So what I heard was true. Another human with the Xaro's loader has appeared. Hello Chief Alaman, my name's Naruto Uzumaki. I was called from the human world to help, but I wish to learn more about the situation, said Naruto, recalling the lesson received from Ibiki during the Chunin exams. Information truly is vital for potential victory. I'd be more than willing to tell you all that you need to know, said Alaman before sitting on a grass carpet with the others following suit on their own. Where to begin? Oh yes. I can start by telling you that the digital world used to be a singular area where all sorts of Digimon used to live together. However, a cataclysm in the past caused the digital world to be split into 108 feet zones, mini-worlds separated by a featureless expanse that most Digimon are unable to cross through on their own save for a certain few. Just as we thought that things couldn't get any worse, that was when they appeared from out of nowhere. The Bagra army, right? Asked Naruto. Yes, a legion of Digimon led by an evil Digimon called Bagramon who seeks out the Code Crowns in order to conquer the entire digital world. What are these Code Crowns? They're legendary artifacts which serve a proof of sovereignty over their designated zone. Anyone who holds a Code Crown designated to a zone actually owns the very zone itself. Already the Bagra army has raided many zones, with several having their Code Crowns taken to Bagramon while searching for the rest, according to what Big Sis told us, said Noir with a frown. Even reborn in another world, there'll always be someone who wants to rule the world by force, thought Naruto with a frown. Then he spoke up. So has the Bagra army found Dino Zone's code crown yet? I don't think they have yet, otherwise that hornhead Tuskmon would have been gloating about it, said Huckman. I believe that the code crown has hidden itself for the meantime until the danger has passed, said Blanc. That's one small piece of good news. We'll need to come up with a plan to take out the faction of the Bagra army here before moving on to the next step, said Naruto thoughtfully. Which is what exactly? Asked Noir. Retaking the code crowns from the Bagra army whilst gaining more comrades along the way in order to truly defeat the enemy and restore the digital world to its former state. Sounds like a good plan. You can count me in on it, said Huckman. Don't think that you're leaving us behind, we're in too, said Noir. With a smirk. We would like to help too, said Blanc shyly. We're truly grateful for your wanting to help us. Let me know if you require any assist and we'll provide the best we can, said Alaman with a bow. Naruto bowed back. Thank you, Chief Alaman, I appreciate it. Meanwhile, in another part of Dino Zone within an underground cave, we find Tuskmon along with his soldiers bowing before a larger Tyrannomon, but this one is larger with gray skin and red stripes as its body is covered in battle scars. So you say that another human with the Xaros loader has appeared and was the reason why you along with your army was defeated? Asked the Digimon. Forgive my incompetence, Master Tyrannomon. This human fought differently from how you warned us of the ones before him. He actually fought alongside the apprentice of that royal knight with a strange ability. I've never seen or ever heard the likes of it, said Tuskmon. This is quite troublesome. We already have problems with these humans wielding Xaros loaders, and now an anomaly appears from out of nowhere to oppose our master. We must report this to Bagramon-sama and the generals before preparing accordingly for this potential threat. Do you know of the human's whereabouts? Yes, one of our spies located him at Fanged Village, said Tuskmon. Master Tyrannomon growled deeply in thought. I see. Gather the soldiers, for we shall attack while the human has yet to amass an army. Kill a weed by the root to permanently stop its growth. It shall be done at once. Tuskmon bowed before leaving the cavern room with the soldiers. Once this human is dealt with, I shall resume search for the code crown like Bagramon-sama ordered. Back in the Fanged Village, Naruto was currently atop a small boulder on ledge overlooking the village as he was checking out the specs of the pet. He had been most curious about it since he used the device to transform and so wanted to learn more about it. Naruto scrolled through the main menu until he came across a submenu called Chip Folder. And access to check it out there he saw about 6 folders each containing a variety of battle chips with some he's familiar with during the first battle. Seems like I can only use a chip folder at a time when fighting in that form. I wonder what else this thing's got, Naruto muttered to himself. He exited back to the main menu and scrolled down further to come across the next submenu called Mega Mode and curiously accessed it to see a 3D imagery of himself when transformed along with detailed information of the abilities available. Well, this is interesting. I wonder that the panels with the question marks are about and only one of them is available. He was about to look more into it when he heard someone call out to him from behind. Excuse me. Naruto looked back to see that it was Sistermon Blanc, who appeared to be too nervous to approach. Oh Blanc, what's up? Asked Naruto curiously. We were wondering where you were and came looking for you, said Blanc shyly. Naruto rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. Sorry about that. I wanted to check out the place for a bit then see what else my pet contains. Oh, you mean the device that helped you transform to aid Huckman? Asked Blanc curiously. That's the one, though it looks like there are some features which are yet to be unlocked, so I'll just have to make do with what I got in the meantime. I'm sure you can find a way to access more of its power. I hope so too. So how long have you and your sister been friends with Huckman? Asked Naruto curiously. For quite a long time. Huckmon's master Gankumon had my sisters and I to help train Huckman to becoming a royal knight, but then we had to divide the time to assisting Digimon living in the zones against the Bagra army. I see. I can tell that Huckman will become a royal knight in the future. He's got guts and a strong ideal like I do, said Naruto with a foxy grin. There you are. The two turned to see Sistermon Noir along with Huckman approach them, with the former placing her hands on her hips and frown a bit. We've been looking all over for you. Sorry about that, I was exploring the place a bit like I told Blanc, said Naruto with Blanc nodding in affirmation. So I wanted to ask what name you've come up for your army? Asked Huckman curiously. A name? Naruto was a bit confused at the question. Yeah, not NLY that but a symbol to represent S2. Naruto looked deep in thought about it for a few moments before speaking up. It will take some time before I can up with those two. Alright then, don't keep us waiting too long though, said Noir. Naruto was about tea. Asterisk boom. Asterisk they were suddenly startled by the sound of an explosion followed by the screams of Digimon. They turned towards the source of the explosion which was coming from the village and could see plumes of black smoke rising to the sky. The group looked at each other before running towards the village to find out just what is going on there. They ran along the road, past Digimon who were running away with the older ones guiding the young Digimon to safety. Naruto, look over there, said Blanc. Naruto turned to see an army of Troopmon, Mammothmon, Terramon, Black Greymon and Tyrannomon laying waste to the village with the Brachiomon, Triceramon and Monochromon with Alamon leading them in fighting back the best they can. It's the Bagramon army and they're attacking the Fanged village, said Alamon after batting a Troopmon away with his tail. We can see that and we're going to help drive them out of here. Sistermon Noir took out a pair of T-shaped handguns and twirled them in her hands. Come on Blanc, let's take it to them. Okay Noir. Sistermon Blanc held her lance at the ready before charging towards the enemy alongside her sister. Come on Naruto, transform and let's get those guys, said Huckman. I'm on it. Naruto took out the pet and the synchro chip in each hand. D-trans. Execute. He inserted the chip into the pet screen displaying two halves of a hexagon linking together as Naruto was encased in a dome of blinding light before fading away to reveal him in his newly dubbed Mega Mode. Naruto took a step forward and held a fist forward with a smirk. Let's start streaming this battle live. Music start. Mega Man Battle Network 3 Ost, shooting enemy. Huckman nodded in agreement. Yeah. The duo rushed towards the opposing army and proceeded to engage them, FIF/. He pounced at the enemies and slashed rapidly at them with his claws then jumped away to avoid being shot by some of the Troopmon. Baby Flame. He opened his mouth to unleash a stream of red flames to burn them and went to engage the next bath. Naruto was currently dashing in different directions and firing his Megabuster to shoot down a small fleet of Terramon which swooping towards him from above. He sensed an incoming attack from behind and quickly leapt high into the air to avoid a blast of ice from the Mammothman then swung into action. Battle Chip. Air Hockey 1. He held a hand out to materialize a large black hockey puck then tossed it to skim along the ground and constantly ricochet off the enemies while dealing stacking damage several times before disappearing with Naruto landing on the ground. Battle Chip. Shockwave. He raised a fist over his head to materialize a pickaxe then brought it down to hit the ground and unleash a shockwave which raced along the ground and struck through multiple enemies. Not yet done. Battle Chip. Step Sword. His right arm transformed into an energy blade then began teleporting around and slashing at the larger enemies before they could put up any sort of defense. Mickey Bullet. Sistermon Noir was firing at the enemies around her with great skill while swiftly evading any attacks being aimed in her direction before returning fire. She cartwheeled to the right to evade a fire breath attack from a Black Greymon then she rushed over to perform a flip kick to strike it from under its chin then unleashing a barrage of bullets to take it out. Bless fire. She rapidly fires both handguns in a straight line to pierce through multiple enemies. However, she let her guard for some Troopmon to take aim at her unguarded back before shooting with their rifles. A blur appeared between Noir and the incoming projectiles which revealed to be Blanc. Protect Wave. She stabbed the butt end of her lance to the ground to create a protective energy shield to deflect the incoming shots for Noir to turn round and shoot them as well. Please be more careful sister. I'll get worried if you're not, said Blanc gently. Sorry about that Blanc, I'll be sure to get my guard up this time, said Noir. Meanwhile, Naruto and Huckman had teamed up to battle against several Tyrannomon with use of Megabuster and Baby Flame respectively to push them back. Battle Chip, Slasher. Naruto transformed his right arm into an energy blade and took an EI stance then lashed in a flash of light. The surrounding Tyrannomon stood there for a few moments then slashes began appearing on their bodies before dispersing into pixels. Suddenly the duo jumped into the air with their instincts screaming at them to move just in time to evade a green blur which skidded to a stop to reveal itself to be Tuskmon. So you finally show your face Tuskmon, said Huckman with a frown. I told you that the next time we meet is when I'll destroy you and that includes the human with the Xaros loader. said Tuskmon with a heated glare towards the duo. Then quit yapping and actually try to kill us, Naruto retorted, already in a combat stance. Tuskmon growled in anger. You'll regret those words, bayonet. Lancer. He gathered energy between his large horns and fired a lance made out of energy towards Naruto and Huckman, but they quickly moved out of the way before retaliating with Megabuster and Baby Flame. Tuskmon easily shrugged the attacks off, then targeted Huckman. Horndriver. He charged forward with great speed to ram Huckman with his horns. Not so fast, Battle Chip. Ice Ball. Naruto formed a white orb of ice and quickly threw it ahead to hit the ground and form a sheet of ice, which Tuskmon stepped on and ended up slipping to the ground. Huckman seized the opportunity to attack. Teen Ram. He spun the tip of his tail like that of a drill, then charged in close to strike, but Tuskmon was quick to recover from the sudden interception. Panzer Knuckle. He lashed out with a flaming fist to send Huckman flying away from him, then turned angrily towards Naruto to fire another energy lance at him. Battle Chip, Mole 1. Naruto stomped the ground to form a hole underneath him, which he dropped into to avoid the incoming projectile, then appeared next to Huckman. You okay there, buddy? Asked Naruto. I'll live. He packs a mean punch though, Huckman grunted in response. Then I'll give you a little pick-me-up. Battle Chip, Recov 50. Naruto placed a hand on Huckman, whose body began glowing with the bruises disappearing from his body. However, a small fleet of Terramon seized the opportunity to attack the duo by swooping towards them with killing intent. I am the 20th. There were sudden flashes of yellow light, with the Terramon being sliced into pieces and dispersing into data as something landed in front of Naruto and Huckman for them to look up and see who just helped them, though the latter's eyes widened in recognition. It is a bipedal reptilian creature with red eyes, a tail, and 3 digits on its hands and feet. It wears a golden armor that covers most of its body and a white cape with tattered edges. Its armor has a sharp claw on each digit, a black diamond-shaped object in the tail, a small blade like object on each knee, an orange 0 on its left shoulder pad, and a sword-like horn on its helmet. The horn was emitting a blue light on the blade's edge, and it has a silver 20 on its left side. Zubamon, is that you? Asked Huckman, said Digimon looked back to smile at him. Long time no see, Huckman. I was wandering from zone to zone when I came upon this ruckus and saw you and the Sistermon fighting the Bagra army. Though I'm curious to ask about the human, I feel it best that we talk later, said Zubamon. You're right about that. We need to take care of these guys first. Naruto stood up after healing Huckman by a decent amount and turned to see several Troopmon and Tyrannomon approaching them. You guys keep Tuskmon busy while I take care of these guys before coming over to back you up. Alright Naruto, try not to dawdle, said Huckman. Let's battle with the 20th glint of my blade. Zubamon ran alongside Huckman as they went to engage an angry Tuskmon. I'll be there soon. Naruto turned to face the enemy and dashed towards them. Battle Chip, Yo-Yo 1. His right arm transformed into an attachment which opened up to fire a large bladed yo-yo with a long rope attached to it to slice through some of the black Greymon, but he quickly dashed away to avoid getting shot by the Troopmon and got ready to counterattack. Battle Chip, Boomerang. His arm transformed again into a launcher with a V-shaped boomerang which he fired at the Troopmon to take most of them. Naruto's systems alerted him of an incoming attack from the side and turned to see a trio of black Greymon rearing their heads back with flames in their mouths and realized what was about to happen. Battle Chip. Bar 100. He quickly formed a pinkish-red energy dome around himself just in time as the black Greymon unleashed a combined stream of flames for the dome to protect him against. Naruto scrolled through the next lineup of battle chips on his HUD for a counterattack when he noticed that 3 chips had lines interconnecting each other and were glowing as well. Could it be some sort of combo? It won't exactly hurt to try. Just hope Lady Luck is still siding with me. Naruto waited till the black Greymon stopped attacking, then he swung in action. Battle Chip, Triple Cannon 1. A screen opened up on his HUD. Program Advance executed. Zeta Cannon 1. Naruto's arm transformed into a large cannon and could feel great power within it. Whoa. This thing's gonna pack a punch. He took aim with a smirk behind his face mask. Say hello to my little friend. He began firing powerful rounds from the cannon to inflict massive damage to defeat the black Greymon before the cannon faded away from his arm. Guess it doesn't last too long. Better head over and help Huckman and Zubamon out. Naruto made his way over too. where the two were, and saw that they dealing a number on Tuskmon and thought to add into the mix as he equipped the Mega Buster and began gathering power into it. Charge shot. Then he took aim and fired a powerful blast which sent Tuskmon flying back upon impact. Kept you two waiting, didn't I? Not really, we're just playing around with him a bit, said Huckman. Yeah, there's enough of him to go around, said Zubamon. We'll see who's playing around, Panzer Knuckle. Tuskmon rushed at the trio with a knuckle ignited in flames. Right back at you. Battle Chip. Gut Punch. Naruto's fist enlarged before charging back with it, reared back, then lashing out with both fists clashing in the middle, and struggled for domination. However, Tuskmon's size and strength won out and sent Naruto flying back, with the blonde recovering in midair and skidding along the ground with the fist shrinking down to normal. Grr. I need to pack more power into my attack if I want to beat this guy. Another screen opened up on his HUD. Style change systems unlocked. Ready for activation. Style change? If it will help me in this fight then yes, said Naruto. Style change activated. Equipping Heat Guts style. A red dome appeared around Naruto, causing everyone to look at him, then it faded away to reveal the blonde in a different form. His blue bodysuit had changed to red and there is a large fist attached to his right arm. Naruto raised the fist to marvel at the power flowing through his body at the moment and smirked. Perfect, this is just what I needed. Whoa, that's one mean-looking fist, said Huckman in wonder. So what, you have a new look? I'll still destroy you. Tuskmon fired another energy lance towards Naruto, who simply raised the fist before himself to block the incoming projectile without so much as a flinch. What? That can't be. Is that all you got? Asked Naruto tauntingly, annoying the Digimon further. You dare insult me? Horn driver? Tuskmon charged forward with his horns lowered to skewer his opponent. Naruto held his fist out and braced for impact as he grabbed the horn on Tuskmon's head and was being pushed back several feet. The blonde dug his feet hard into the ground to skid to a stop, then with a great heave he tossed Tuskmon into the air and began charging energy into the fist for it to glow yellow. It's game over for you, Tuskmon. Heat Guts punch. Naruto reared his fist back to then lashed out to drive it hard into Tuskmon's gut. With lots of power behind it, causing the dinosaur to cry out in agony before dispersing into data. That was a bit intense. By the 20th blink of my eyes, that was quite the finish, said Zubamon. Ditto for me, now we can cool off a bit, said Huckman. If only it were that simple. Enemies of Bagramon-sama. The trio turned towards the voice which suddenly spoke up and saw Master Tyrannomon approaching them with a frown on his face. So you're the human who possesses the Xaro's loader and capability to battle Digimon on his own. And you must be the leader of the army invading this zone then, said Naruto with a frown. You're correct, and it is my duty to acquire the code crown for Bagramon-sama as well as destroy oppositions like you. Then defeating you will be a large step to securing the safety of Dino Zone, said Huckman. Master Tyrannomon scoffed at that. Don't be quick to assume that you can defeat just because you were able to do so to Tuskmon. Hey, someone once told me this. The higher the stakes, the greater the rewards. Time for a boss battle. Naruto is stance with the others. At the ready. Music change. Mega Man Battle Network 3 Ost. Boss battle. Huckman, we're going at him strong, so I'm going to digivolve you, said Naruto, taking the Xaro's loader out from its holster. Okay, I'm ready to go, said Huckman. Activating Digivolution. Naruto held the Xaro's loader out with the screen flashing brightly as a golden beam fell from the sky and engulfed Huckman. Huckman digivolved too. His body began to undergo drastic changes. He grew twice in size, with the claws of his forelegs appearing much sharper with white tips and his hind legs turning into blades. His red tattered cloak was longer, with the hood having pointed metal tips to give the appearance of pointed teeth. His tail grew longer with a long gray blade attached to the tip. Bow Huckman. By the 20th blink of my eyes, you really are a general, said Zubamon. Master Tyrannomon scoffed at the sight. You think you can beat me just by digivolving? Don't delude yourself. How about we put that theory to the test? Heat Flamethrower. Naruto transformed his fist into a flamethrower and unleashed a powerful stream of fire, Master Fire. Master Tyrannomon opened his mouth to breathe powerful flames to collide with the other, but Naruto was gradually getting overwhelmed, so Bao Huckman quickly assisted his partner. Burn Flame. He also breathed flames from his mouth to conjoin with Naruto's flames to push back and strike Master Tyrannomon. 20 Dive. Zubamon leapt high into the air and descended towards the enemy at high speed with his horn's edge glowing with blue energy. However, Master Tyrannomon broke from the flames to counterattack. Master Claw. He swung at Zubamon to send him flying away. Battle Chip. Arrestial. Naruto immediately disappeared to appear before Zubamon and catch him, then landing on the ground. You okay, buddy? I'll be fine once I strike that fiend with my blade, said Zubamon with a grunt. All right. Let's take it to him. The duo got up and charged at the Master Tyrannomon. Guts machine gun. Naruto transformed his arm into a large buster and proceeded to fire rapidly at the enemy to push him back. Battle Chip. Heat shot. He launched a fireball from his arm cannon to inflict burning damage. FIF cross. Bao Huckman lunged at Master Tyrannomon to slash him with his sharp nails. 20. Scratch. Zubamon's claws were a blur as he unleashed a barrage of slashes upon Master Tyrannomon before backing away to avoid any counterattacks from their opponents. Do you still think that we can't beat you? Asked Zubamon. As a matter of fact, I still do. Zen recovery. Master Tyrannomon's body glowed for a moment, then a majority of the wounds on his body quickly healed, much to the shock of the others sans Naruto, who had encountered enemies like him in his past life. You're only delaying the inevitable in this battle. That changes nothing, we just need to land more hits than you can heal from them, said Naruto. That's right, we're not finished yet. Dragri Spiker. Bao Huckman leapt at Master Tyrannomon to kick at him with the blades on his legs. Hyper Heat Blast. The opponent radiated a fiery heat wave from his body which seriously affected Bao Huckman and Zubamon, but Naruto wasn't affected that much due to the element attribute of his current style change. Element change. Aqua Guts style. Naruto's armor changed from red to light blue as he switched elements from fire to water, then he swung into action. Battle Chip. Geyser. He slammed a fist to the ground, causing a pillar of water to burst out of the ground underneath Master Tyrannomon and launch him into the air at the same time, dousing him of the heat. Battle Chip. Aqua Sword. Naruto equipped himself with a water-attributed energy blade. He leapt towards the Digimon and slashed several times before kicking away to land back on the ground. Team Blade. Bao Huckman spun his bladed tail like a whirlwind, then slashed at Master Tyrannomon to send him crashing to the ground. Zen recovery. Master Tyrannomon healed himself once more, but it wasn't as effective as the first time. You ingrates will truly become thorns on Bagramon-sama's side, you must be destroyed. He lunged at the trio with a Master Claw attack, but they quickly moved out of the way of the incoming attack. General, I wish for you to use me to strike him down, said Zubamon. How so? Asked Naruto, still focused. I am a Legend Arms Digimon, one that is capable of transforming into a weapon for the Master Chosen. I see you as worthy to use me, so let's unite to defeat this evil. Okay Zubamon, let's do this. Naruto took out the Xaro's loader and pointed the screen towards Zubamon. Zubamon, mode change. A beam of light shone upon Zubamon, causing him to transform in a bright flash which faded to reveal him in a new form. He currently resembles that of a single-edged short sword with a golden handle, Zubamon's head being the hilt with the horned blade lengthening slightly and emitting a blue light on the blade's edge, and it has a silver 20 on its left side. Zubamon, blade mode. Naruto grabbed the sword and held it at the ready while standing with his legs apart slightly and crouched slightly. Time for the big finish. He dashed forwards and leapt high into the air. A golden aura emitted from the blade and elongated to form a longer version. Gilded Blade Strike. He dove quickly towards Master Tyrannomon and performed a diagonal downward strike before a golden pillar engulfed the enemy, who cried out in agony. This can't be happening. You may have defeated me, but you shall all fall before Bagramon-sama. I'm sure of it, Master Tyrannomon cried before bursting into multiple bits of yellow data. And that's it for this livestream, said Naruto with a smirk. Music and Naruto tossed Zubamon into the air for him to revert to his normal, whilst he and Baohugmon's body began to glow faintly as the former's armor dispersed into pixels, then converged to form the pet before dropping into his hands with the synchro chip popping out from the slot. The latter shrunk back to its default size and was Huckman once more. They turned round to see the residents and chief of Dino Village cheering loudly in victory as the Sistermon approached them. Looks like you three had one heck of a battle, said Noir with a smirk. That's putting it lightly, Noir-chan. We had to play hard to beat him, said Naruto. I'm just glad that you all made it okay, said Blanc, looking relieved. By the 20th feeling of accomplishment, we are victorious. You truly are an interesting but worthy general, said Zubamon. You got that right, Zubamon, and Naruto's a totally fun guy to hang out with too, said Huckman. Then he noticed rather unusual. Hey guys, look up there. What's that? Everyone looked up to see what appears to be an SD memory card with an image of a dinosaur fossil on it while encased in a yellow octahedral translucent shell of light as it slowly descended towards Naruto with his Xaros loader glowing like it is reacting to its presence. Chief Alaman approached to examine it closely and his eyes widened in recognition. Could it be? It is, said Alaman in surprise. What is it? Asked Naruto curiously. That's the code crown which we told you about. It must appeared the moment you defeated Master Tyrannomon, said Blanc. Naruto lightly tapped the shell for it to disappear and the code crown to drop into his hands. So this means that Dino Zone is now under my protection and the Bagra army won't show their faces around here. That's one down and a whole lot more to go, said Noir with her hands on her hips. Just a mere first step to a long but exciting journey, said Zubamon. I wish to join your army if you would allow me to. Naruto smiled in response. Of course you can join, you're buds with Huckman, which makes it totally okay. Let's raise a lot of hell for Bagra army. Thanks for having me on board, General Naruto. Just call me Naruto, we're all in this together. By the way, have you come up with a name for your army? Asked Noir. Naruto closed his eyes as a certain memory surfaced in his mind and smiled fondly with the Xaros loader's screen glowing faintly. I do actually. The team will be called Team Konoha. Then the screen projected an image of what appears to be a leaf fused with a spiral symbol. Konoha? Why call it that? Asked Alaman curiously. It's the name of a village which I used to live in. We all lived on an ideal called the Will of Fire, whereby all villagers live as one family with each loving, believing, cherishing, and fighting to protect the village. The former leader of the villager once told me that the true power within one will only emerge when we have something precious to protect. I believe we all feel that way. Naruto opened his eyes to see looks of understanding on their faces. That is why I chose this name for the team. I like the name, it describes us very well, said Huckman. Feels like an honor to follow under a flag of such a name, said Zubamon. I like too, said Blanc shyly when she noticed Naruto smiling at her. Ditto, said Noir. So where do we go from here? Asked Naruto confusedly. According to what Sistermon Seal told us, you need to put the code crown into the Xaros loader and say, Zone Transfer, said Noir. Got it. Naruto held out the code crown and inserted it into a slot on the side of the Xaros loader. Zone Transfer. A green beam of light shot out of the screen to form a swirling green vortex before them. I guess we'll use this to get to the next zone. Then we're ready to go, said Huckman. Then he along with Zubamon and the Sistermon transformed into light and went inside the Xaros loader much to Naruto's surprise. What just happened? Asked Naruto. We need to be inside the Xaros loader when you're moving in between zone, said Blanc from inside the device. Okay then, Naruto turned towards the chief and the other Digimon. Just it's time for me to take off. Indeed, but know that we're in support of your mission, General of Team Konoha, said Alaman. Naruto nodded in affirmation, then turned around and ran into the portal as it disappeared with him floating through the mainstream. With him heading towards the next zone with anticipation. It's been a while since he had this feeling, and he missed it. The enemy better watch out, for a possessor of the Will of Fire has come a-calling. This is Husbeck Online with the latest chapter. Naruto and Huckman have arrived at the village where they meet the Sistermon before meeting the chief to gain important information for his next step, which is to gather and recover the code crown while amassing an army to take on the Bagra army. The faction of said army reappeared with Naruto and the others rising to defend village with additional help from Huckman's friend Zubamon to be successful in acquiring a code crown for Dino Zone. Now Naruto is heading for the next zone, but the big question is what's going to occur in the future ahead of him. Team Konoha members and harem. Huckman, partner, Coronaman Lunaman. Ryudamon Oramon Canonbeamon Sistermon Noir, harem, Sistermon Blanc, harem, Sistermon Seal. Harem. Basedman, Harem, Zubamon. Doraemon Gatomon. Anjuamon, Harem, Black Gatomon. Lady Devamon, Harem. Renamon, Sakuyamon, Harem. Ranamon, Harem. Lilymon, Harem. Lilimon, Harem. Ignitemon, Mervamon's brother. Bellstarmon, Harem. Kazimon, Harem. Ancient Mermaidmon, Harem. Medieval Dukemon. Strabamon Flamen Nene is also in the harem. Be sure to read and review as always. This is Husbeck from Ghana. Signing out. No Break Time at Work Ninja of the Digixrox. Battle Network Chapter 3. No Break Time at Work. Naruto was currently moving through the vortex towards the next zone. So far he was able to acquire the one of the many code crowns after taking down the Bagra army in Dino Zone alongside Huckman, the Sistermons and the residents of Fang Village. Naruto snapped back into focus as he saw that he was about to exit from the vortex. He emerged from the vortex and landed on the ground before looking around to take in the scenery. From his perspective, Naruto was looking at what would be a combination of an industrial plant and city into one. The clouds were pitch black due to the fumes being expelled from the factories into the air, and the sun cannot be seen despite it being daytime. Having been raised in a village surrounded by nature in his past life, Naruto doesn't really feel okay with this kind of environment. What kind of zone is this? Seems like some sort of factory or something, said Naruto musingly. The Xro's loader's screen glowed, then several streaks of light emerged from it and faded to reveal Huckman along with Zubamon and the Sistermons. This place is known as the Factory Zone. It's known for manufacturing various tools and machinery to be used by many in the digital world, said Sistermon Blanc, but then she frowned. However, there's something different. The level of pollution is rather high, which is odd since they're based creating environmentally friendly technology. There's no doubt that the Bagra army would be behind this. Those guys don't care about anything other than conquest, said Huckman with a frown. By the 20th twitch of my eye, those brutes have no heart like their leader. Zubamon was in agreement. It's too early to assume, but it's best that we exercise in the case that we do encounter any of the Bagra army. Naruto spoke up, receiving nods of agreement from the Digimon. I think scoping around the warehouses will give us some clues since the factories might be more guarded. What makes you think that way? Asked Huckman curiously. I've had done a couple things which were similar to this scenario, Naruto replied, recalling his past missions with the others back in the elemental nations. That piques my curiosity. Maybe you can tell us some other time, said Sistermon Noir. Sure. Now let's get moving. Naruto looked around for a bit, then proceeded to move in a chosen direction with the others quick to follow him. They carefully maneuvered their way around the structures, pipes and construction machines. They quickly took cover upon seeing a squad of Troopmon and Seals Dramon patrolling the area, which confirms that the Bagra army had indeed taken over the zone, much to their displeasure. I knew it. Those guys have taken over the place, Huckman growled in anger. Naruto grabbed Huckman's hood to hold him down. Chill, Huckman. We have to stick to the plan and head over to the warehouse area. Going in guns blazing never ends well. Take it from a guy who's been doing that back in his rookie days. Sigh. All right, Naruto. Let's go. I can slice them up later anyways. The group continued on their way and were drawing close to their marked destination when they heard the sounds of gunfire a small distance from their position. They looked at each other and came to a unanimous decision, then proceeded to quickly make their way to the source of the sound to find out what's going on over there. The group came across a squad of Troopmon exchanging gunfire with another group which appeared to be bipedal dinosaurs with skin texture akin to camouflage patterns while wearing gears similar to a SWAT team's as they returned fire with their assault rifles. Naruto brought out his Xro's loader and scanned to identify as Commandramon. Gah! One of the Commandramon fell to the ground upon getting shot at the shoulder and was soon surrounded by a couple of Digimon which Naruto identified as Koromon and Kakuamon. Man down, cover him, said one of the Commandramon. There's too many of them and backup would be here at any minute, said another. The Troopmon began approaching where they were taking while still firing. They were about to take another step when a blue fireball struck the ground in between them, surprising them. Then a voice suddenly spoke up. Not another step or the next shot won't miss. They turned to see a group of Digimon with a human of all things standing amongst them. The Troopmon snapped out of their stupor and aimed their rifles to fire. Big mistake, baby flame. Huckman opened his mouth too. Launch a blast of fire to attack. Sistermon Noir brandished her handguns. Mickey Bullet. Then she proceeded to fire them rapidly in random directions and making sure to target the enemies. My turn. D-Trans. Execute. Naruto inserted the synchro chip into the pet to transform into his Mega Mode and swung into action as he transformed his arm into the Mega Buster and fired consecutively. Whilst making his way over to the Digimon before speaking to them. Don't worry, we're here to help. Who are you? Asked one of the Commandramon. We can do that later, first I need to heal your teammate. Battle Chip. Recov 50. Naruto placed a hand on the wounded Commandramon whose body glowed as his wounds were being healed, much to the surprise of the Digimon present. Now to deal with them. Battle Chip. Lance. Naruto slammed a palm onto the ground, causing it to quake, then multiple spiked bamboo lances come from the ground impaling the enemies. His systems alerted him of an incoming attack from above as he dashed sideways in time to avoid a slash from a Seals Dramon's combat knife before lashing out with a mid-kick to knock it backwards. Battle Chip. Hammer. His arm transformed into said weapon as he swung to smash it to the ground before it could react and burst into data. He resumed firing with the Megabuster. With the Commandramon providing support fire after Huckman and the others got out of range till the enemies were taken out. That takes care of them for now. Naruto untransformed before turning to the Digimon they had just helped. Now I can introduce myself. My name's Naruto Uzumaki, the general of Team Konoha. A general? That means you wield a Xaro's loader, said one of the Commandramon in shock. Got that right in one go. Do you know where we can avoid getting detected by the Bagra army? Asked Sistermon Noir. We can take you all to our hideout, which is where we were taking the Digimon we managed to extract from the factories when we were attacked. Thank you, we really appreciate it. The much larger group made their way over to the warehouse area with the Commandramon squad being on high alert until they went inside one of the warehouses. One of the Commandramon pushed a wooden crate to the side and pushed a hidden switch for a large door to open up and reveal an elevator for everyone to step onto before it began making its descent to the bottom, with the floor closing back up to conceal its entryway. They emerged from the elevator once it had finally reached the bottom and walked through a barely lit passage to the end where the Commandramon unlocked a pair of large sealed doors for the others to go through, where they came across a large underground area where they saw numerous tents having been set with many Digimon living in them. Naruto and the others were gobsmacked at the sight of this. They certainly weren't expecting to see this many. One of the Commandramon spoke up, "I'll take you to our leader," while the others helped the Digimon situate them into new homes for now. Okay then, said Naruto as he proceeded to following the Digimon, with the rest doing the same. Naruto took note of the Digimon throwing glances of wonder and curiosity, which was rather understandable as they hadn't seen an actually in the flesh other than hearing about them. They arrived at a small clearing where there was a Digimon resembling a large stout robot with a rust-brown color scheme. His body is made of solid iron and appears to have rocket jets mounted onto his back. Naruto used the Xaro's loader to identify the Digimon to be Guardraman as he turned around and greeted with an eye smile. Hello there, I wasn't expecting a human amongst the hostages that the Commandramon went to rescue from the factories, said Guardraman. Commandramon was quick to correct the robotic Digimon. You're mistaken, Guardraman-sama. He isn't a hostage but a general of an army as he wields the Xaro's loader. Oh, then my apologies for mistaking your identity. It's okay. The name's Naruto Uzumaki, by the way, and I'm the leader of Team Konoha. We came here from Dino Zone after protecting it from the Bagra army to acquiring the Code Crown and found out that they had taken over this place. So we wanted to find exactly what happened here, said Naruto. It certainly wasn't like this before, said Huckman with a frown. Guardraman looked to the ground with a small frown. You're right, as it definitely wasn't so. This used to be a peaceful zone where we manufactured all kinds of machineries and tools to make the living of every Digimon much easier, even making toys for baby-level Digimon to play with, as I was in charge as an Andraman. But then the Bagra army came and attacked. We tried to fight back, but they were too strong that I was forcefully de-digivolved to a Guardraman. The leader of the faction Tank Dramon enslaved the workers and forced them to manufacture weapons for the army under the threat of death. I founded the rebellion forces and made it our priority to rescue the enslaved Digimon and defeat the faction of the Bagra army so that everything can go back to the way they were before. I see, so do you have anything planned against the Bagra army? Asked Naruto thoughtfully. Not yet, but I'm waiting for intel from one of my friends Oromon to seek out any vulnerabilities for us to capitalize upon to defeat them, said Gardraman. Then we shall assist in your plan to take back the zone from the Bagra army by the 20th glint of my blade, said Zubamon with gusto. He's right, there's no reason for us not to help you since we have a common enemy and a common goal, said Naruto. I'm truly thankful for your desire to help, it shall not go unforgotten. Gardraman-sama. Everyone turned to see a Koromon zipping up to them and it sounded distressed. We have a problem. What seems to be the matter? Asked Gardraman confusedly. We've lost connection with Oromon and attempts to contact him have ended in failure, said the Koromon worriedly. Gardraman frowned upon hearing that. That indeed sounds worrying. Isn't Oromon the one scouting for intel for you? Asked Huckman curiously. Yes, we always keep in contact in the case that he draws too close to the enemy territory as well as being informed of where the Digimon were being kept for us to rescue, and I guess that this hasn't happened before, said Sister Mont Blanc, receiving a nod of affirmation. It could be that the area he is in has a signal jammer. Do you have the coordinates of where you had his signal before you lost it? Asked Naruto. Yes I do. Why? Koromon replied. Naruto took out his pet and switched to his map app. Please give me the coordinates. He inputted the numbers given to him by Koromon and activated the search until the location has been marked, here. This is where the signal was last located before it was lost. That's close to one of the more recently built factories. We had been hearing of the Bagra army researching on foreign data to utilize for their warfare, said Gardraman. I'll round up the other Commandramon so we can go and make sure that Oromon is safe, said the Commandramon. Hold up, I'll be going instead. I may not look it but I'm pretty good with stealth and infiltration, plus my Mega Mode has some useful features to go with it, said Naruto with a smirk. But what about us? Asked Sister Mon Noir with a small frown. You'll be coming along while inside the XRO's loader, just in case something goes wrong and we need to fight our way out. Alright then, you don't really have to do this to help us, said Gardraman. True, but I'm doing this because I want to, said Naruto. Very well, I wish that you all return safely, Naruto nodded in affirmation before leaving with the Commandramon as it went to alert the others. Then they left the hideaway and Naruto carefully navigated them towards the marked location while avoiding the patrollers until they finally arrived near the factory. Naruto looked up and frowned at the pollution. His past life as a ninja of Konoha and a sage has made him value nature greatly, so this place would be one of his least liked zones to him. This is the place, now to make my way inside. D-Trans. Execute. Naruto quickly transformed into his Mega Mode, then moved on to the next step, activating Style Change. Style Change activated. Equipping Elec Shadow Style. A yellow dome appeared around Naruto, then it faded away to reveal the blonde in a different form. His blue bodysuit had changed to a ninja-like design, with the blue being replaced with yellow. The elongated helmet resembling a streamlined biker's, a high collar, and two wing-like scarf attachments. Naruto smiled in nostalgia. Man, this takes me way back, time to get moving. He proceeded to ascend to the top of the factory by using the large pipes and ledges as footholds until reaching the spot where there was an opening for him use as an entry point. Naruto crawled along the small passageway before exiting to land on a long catwalk hanging over an assembly section of the factory. He looked down only to be saddened and angered as he saw many Kakuwamon, Koromon, and Hagurumon being forced to work while being held at gunpoint by the Troopmon and Minotauramon, which he had scanned to identify. It makes me really sad to see Digimon being forced against their will like this, said Sister Mont Blanc within the XRO's loader. Naruto clenched his fists in anger at how distressed she was. That's just one of the many things that Bagramon will have to answer for, said Huckman in anger. Shush, be quiet. Someone's coming. Naruto glanced to the other side of the catwalk to see a Troopmon approaching his position. Battlechip, invisible. He turned transparent and leapt into the air to grab onto a pipe hanging overhead and waited for the Troopmon to pass before landing behind it. Then he materialized a kunai and cut it down to disperse into data before continuing on his way with the invisibility still active. Naruto stealthily maneuvered his way through the various sections of the factory and listening to the whispers of the Digimon around, and all the while taking notes of bits of info which would be useful by using the voice recorder of the pet. He soon got enough to know that they had captured a spy and had detained him at a certain part of the factory, so Naruto chose to go through the ventilation system before the effects of the invisibility wore off. He soon reached the spot and looked through the grating into a small room to see the occupants inside. There were several Troopmon and Minotaurimon standing guard along with new Digimon which he had scanned with the Xaros loader to identify them as Raremon. Naruto looked ahead to see the target of the rescue mission which is currently tied up with rope. It's a Digimon with resemblance to that of an owl except parts of the body are armored such as the legs, tail feathers, and a helmet which is equipped with night vision scope eyes. Naruto identified it to be Oromon. Looks like we found him, but the question is how do we get him out of there? Sistermon Noir muttered. I'm coming up with something, Naruto whispered in response. Then he heard the guards beginning to whisper among themselves and decided to listen in. Why are we still keeping this Digimon alive? Asked a Raremon. Aswaltman-sama wants to acquire information of the whereabouts of the rebels so we can crush them in once and for all. They've proven themselves to be quite the pests this whole time, said a Minotaurimon. That's true, but they'll soon learn what it means to cross Bagramon-sama. I have a bad feeling about the kind of interrogation that is soon to take place, said Sister Mont Blanc worriedly. Same here, which is why I'm busting him out of there right now. Naruto kicked through the grating and dropped through the vent, immediately attracting everyone in the room. Battleship, Blinder. He materialized an orb of light onto his hand before throwing to the ground to unleash a bright flash of light, causing everyone to close their eyes. Battleship, Slasher. He materialized a sheathed katana in hand. Then he swung the blade and sheathed it at such speeds that it appeared like he never unsheathed it as slash marks appeared on the Digimon then disperse in bits of data while the ropes binding Oromon were cut apart, freeing him. Who are you? Asked Oromon confusedly. The name's Naruto, but we can talk later as this short scuffle has obviously attracted the others, so I need to get you out of here. Naruto took out the Xaros loader and drew the wounded Digimon within it. At that moment, the doors were suddenly smashed open as a Digimon walked inside. It is a centaur-like Digimon with a quadrupedal lower body and humanoid torso while almost entirely covered in armor. Its head is covered in a red combat helmet as well as a gas mask while its arms are Gatling guns from the elbows down with additional rifles on its upper back. What is going on here and who are you? The Digimon demanded. It's impolite to demand one's name when you haven't given your own first, said Naruto nonchalantly. The Digimon growled in annoyance. I am Aswaltman, now tell me who you are. Much better, my first name is, none, surname is, of your, and last name is, business. Now that we know each other, I bid you adieu. Aswaltman his Gatling guns at Naruto. You are not going anywhere, not with our prisoner. That's a no-no. You see it's almost time for tea and I don't want to be late. Naruto's arm transformed into a zap ring shooter. But we can always chat some other time. He fired a ring of electricity which made contact and paralyzed the Digimon before disappearing as an ability of the Shadow style. Shiryo. Aswaltman finally broke free from the paralysis and roared out in anger. How dare that whelp make a fool out of me? I will make him pay for his transgressions. Meanwhile, Naruto was crawling quickly through the vents and could see the guards running about beneath him but kept on moving. Regardless till he exited from the vents to standing on the rooftops of the factory. He quickly took cover to avoid being detected by the Misumon flying overheard now that they're on full alert. Once we're through here, then we'll be home free. Naruto began running towards the end of the roof and leapt off the edge into the air. Battleship. Area Steel. He immediately disappearing and then reappeared far from the factory. Hey, I can say that the operation is definitely a success. Time to return to the hideout. Later on, Naruto and the others had returned to the underground hideaway where everyone was happy to see the return of the now healed Oromon, especially the Commandermon squad and Guardraman. It's good to see that you're safe thanks to the general and his comrades, said Guardraman. I feel the same way. I don't know what would have happened to me if I wasn't rescued, said Oromon. No thanks necessary. But can you tell us what happened before you got captured? Asked Huckman. Well, I was doing my usual scouting mission when I noticed that the Bagra army were doing some strange activities at one of the newer factories and followed after them to find out, but I didn't notice that I was within range of a signal jammer. I overheard of them analyzing certain types of data rare to the digital world and were planning on using it to empower their forces, and the faction leader would be coming tomorrow to see for himself. I was going to listen for more. When I heard a voice from behind me before everything went black, then I woke up to find myself captured, and you all know the rest. Oromon said to the group present. Rare data, this sounds both interesting and troubling, said Gardramon. I hear ya, it could be bad for us if they learn how to use it, said Sistermon Noir with a frown. But it could also be good for us if we were to take from them and use it too, said Naruto thoughtfully. By the 20th glint of my blade, you're right, as to be expected of our general, said Zubamon. But our main priority is to rescue the remaining captured Digimon before doing anything else. We just need to know exactly where they're imprisoned for us to extract before taking them on. Oromon spoke up. I can help with that. I scouted the areas enough to know where they're being kept. Now that's one hurdle halfway cleared, but what else can we do to get an edge over those guys, since it's without a doubt that their leader is going to be as tough as nails, said one of the Commandramon. I have a couple of ideas, but it requires that we get the captured Digimon out of the way first to avoid collateral damage. Involves using parts of the factories to our advantage, said Naruto. I see where you are going with this. We'll continue to make plans, but may I suggest that we rest for the night? It has been a long day for all of us. Oh, it's night already. Kinda hard to tell since the clouds are covering up the sun. Then again, it explains why I'm feeling hungry, said a mildly surprised Naruto. They all went to rest with Naruto approaching a tent which was set up for him and went into it. He unzipped his bag and took out several cups of instant ramen along with a flask containing hot water, thanks to Huckman having heated it with his baby flames. He ate the ramen after preparing before rolling out the sleeping bag to turn in for the rest of the night, but not before contemplating on how their plan would be executed to rescue the captive Digimon and take down this faction of the Bagra army in order to attain the code crown of the zone before moving on to the next one. Elsewhere, a boy with blonde hair wearing a red vest underneath a white unbuttoned shirt with the cuffs rolled up to his forehands, long black trousers, and a pair of brown boots. He sensed someone appear behind him and looked behind to recognize it to be a Digimon, which is a midget-sized ninja dressed in a green stereotypical ninja outfit with a CRT monitor for a head, wearing a brown utility belt and a backpack. This Digimon is identified to be a Monotamon. What are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be with her? Asked the boy with a small frown. Nene-sama sent me to provide you with information that would interest you, said the Monotamon. What kind of information? How interesting would it be than meeting that boy with the red Xaros loader? The Monotamon didn't say anything but activated its screen to display a battle between the Bagra army and a group of Digimon. Then it zoomed into focus on a boy with blonde spiky hair and holding an orange Xaros loader with red flames, making him blink in surprise. When he saw the boy then use another device to don some sort of armor before partaking in the battle. A general who not only leads his army but also fights alongside them. The boy then smirked as he reached into his pocket and brought out a blue Xaros loader. Looks like things are definitely going to be more interesting around here than I initially thought. The screen lit up as a roar was heard from Xaros loader as if in agreement. This is Huspec Online with the latest chapter. Naruto and Team Konoha has arrived at the next zone, which is themed after factories, much to the blonde's personal displeasure. The team soon came to learn that the Bagra army has taken over the zone after rescuing a group of rebelling Digimon before being led to an underground hideout to meet with the leader of the rebels and formerly in charge of the zone. Naruto offered to rescue their scout who went missing and was successful in doing so, and now they're planning to launch an offensive rescue operation to take back the zone as well as examine this strange data in their possession. Looks like Naruto has gotten some attention from a few individuals besides the Bagra army much sooner than he would have expected, but the question is, would they be his allies, rivals or enemies? Stay tuned to find out. Sorry for the long delay. Had to deal with schoolwork, but now I'm free and back in business, so new chapters and stories will be heading your way in due time. This is Huspec from Ghana. Signing out. Checking out of a job. Ninja of the Digixrox. Battle Network Chapter 4. Checking out of a job. A truck transporting wooden crates with a Kakuwamon at the wheel approaches a factory where a pair of seals Dramon stood guard at the gate and signaled for the truck to stop before moving into. Interrogate. Hold it right there. What's in those crates you're bringing in? Asked one of the Digimon gruffly. The intimidated Kakuwamon was quick to reply. They contain spare parts to replace any broken tools for the workers. You mean slaves? Let's take a look so you won't be trying a funny business here. The second seal's Dramon went to the back and opened each of the crates to peer inside, then went to look underneath the truck before returning to his fellow guardsmen. Everything checks out. Nothing out of the ordinary. Then you're free to go, so be quick about it. Wouldn't have to motivate you now, would we? Said the first guard. Kakuwamon nodded meekly before driving through the now open gate before making his way over to the docking bay and parking the truck over there. There he saw the other Digimon that are under forced labor approaching to offload the parts with a forklift, then moving over to storage for later use. Soon enough they were done with the offloading and left to resume their work of making weapons. The storage room was silent for a while until the sound of something knocking against wood could be faintly heard, and it was coming from one of the wooden crates. The lower part of one slid upwards to reveal an opening as someone emerged from within, and revealing to be Naruto, who's currently in his Mega Mode form, as he glanced around to see that there's no one around for now before nodding to himself. Looks like I'm in. This reminds me of the good old days. Naruto muttered to himself with a small nostalgic smile. His HUD displayed a mini-map of the factory thanks to Oromon transferred the blueprints to the pet beforehand. Now to commence with the plan. He reached into the crate and brought out a satchel to slung it across the shoulder. He made for the door to open it as quietly as possible, and entering next room where he could see the Digimon being forced to work by assembling weapons for the Bagra army. Naruto frowned at this before snapping back into focus and whispered, "Battle chip, invisible." He turned transparent and moved along whilst making sure to avoid physical contact until reaching one of the machines, where he reached into the satchel and brought out an EMP charge to attach to it. He went on to attaching more charges on other machines with a couple of canisters in addition. Once done, he made his way out of the room, then climbed into the vents as he used the mini-map to navigate through them to the higher levels. Whilst still setting up explosive charges along the way till arriving at the control room, and peered through the opening to see a troopmon working on the controls. Battle chip, step sword. His right arm transformed into a blue energy blade as he warped into the room to stab the Digimon from behind, causing it to disperse into data. Naruto took out his Xaro's loader and held it out. Reload. Haguruman. A beam of light shot out and materialized said Digimon, who then approached the console. "Thank you for getting me here, Naruto. I'll see what I can do from here." The Haguruman proceeded to type rapidly on the keyboard whilst looking at the screens from time to time, while Naruto kept an ear open in case any guards were to show up without warning. "I managed to locate the research lab in the factory. It's located at the top floor of the factory." "And what of the enslaved Digimon?" asked Naruto. "Besides the ones here, the others are locked in the prisons at the other side of the factory and under guard." "I see them. In that case." Naruto released the remaining Digimon of his team with Guardraman accompanying them to assist. "Here's what going to happen. Noir-chan and Blanc-chan will go with Guardraman to rescue the Digimon from the cells and get them to safety. Zubamon and Huckman will team up with the Commandramon to keep the enemy busy in the workroom whilst getting the other Digimon to safety, and all over to the research lab to acquire the data before we all gather for an all-out attack." "Roger that. Kinda bummed for not being with you until later, but I'm good to go," said Huckman. "Alright then, let's get started." Naruto reached into the satchel and brought out a remote detonator and pushed the button, triggering the charges he had set up with the machines being disabled, the canisters releasing smoke from the vents to form a smokescreen, and the explosives being damaging and noisy enough to attract attention. They all began going their separate ways towards their assigned objectives. Music start. BlazBlue. Cross-tag battle Ost. Rebellion. Ragna the Bloodedge's theme. In the workroom, the entire place was filled with smoke, and electrical sparks were flying from the machines with the seeming likeliness to explode, which caused the Digimon to panic and make for the exit. The Troopmon and Sealsdramon barged into the workroom to try and assess the situation, they about to pursue the Digimon when the wooden crates nearby suddenly burst open and a squad of Commandramon emerged, then proceeded to open fire on the Bagra army, taking several of them down, but quickly took cover to avoid the return fire from the enemy. "Hold the line, we need to keep them here for as long as we can," said one of the Commandramon, standing to take a shot with his assault rifle before ducking back into cover. At that moment, the ceiling collapsed as two figures dropped through the hole, revealing to be Huckman and Zubamon, who landed on the ground and faced the enemy. Huckman started off by using Baby Flame to launch a barrage of fireballs as Zubamon leapt high into the air before using 20 dive to slam in the midst of the group to send them flying with the shockwave. Several Misumon flew in through the windows towards them as Huckman leapt into the air and struck out using FIF/ with the Commandramon providing cover fire. "So far so good, let's keep this up, Zubamon," said Huckman. Zubamon nodded in affirmation. By the 20th glint of my blade, these foes shall not get past us. Meanwhile, Gardramon and the Sistermon had just exited from an elevator which took them down to the lower levels and navigated through the corridors under guidance by Hagurumon via radio. They soon arrived at where the Digimon were being kept prisoner. A pair of Troopmon standing guard at the entrance caught sight of the intruders and opened fire upon them. Sistermon Blanc positioned herself in front of them. Protect wave. She stabbed the butt end of her lance into the ground to generate a dome of pink energy which shielded them against the incoming attacks. Gardramon then took to the offensive. Warning laser. He fired twin laser beams from his eyes to blast the Troopmon through the doors and taking them out as well. They went inside and were saddened at the sight of the weak-kneed Digimon locked behind bars. How could the Bagra army do something like this? Asked Blanc sadly. I doubt they have any conscience, but we need to focus on freeing them first before transporting them to safety, said Gardramon. Leave the first part to me. I got the keys right here. Noir held out her handguns with a smirk before taking aim. Mickey bullet. She fired rapidly at the control panels, shorting them out and opening the cell doors. Open sesame, like they say in the human world. Let us go and make sure that they're okay so we can get them to safety, said Blanc. They were about to do so but stopped upon hearing the sound of heavy footsteps from behind and turned to see Minotauramon approaching them menacingly. Looks like we're gonna hear for a bit longer. Noir aimed her handguns towards the advancing enemy with a smirk on her face. Might as well have some fun while we're at it. Naruto was speeding through the hallways, darting from left to right rapidly to avoid the shots fired at him by the Minotauramon as he slid underneath one to flipping into the air and firing a charged shot to take one down. He sensed one about to punch him from behind. Battle. Chip. Side bamboo lance. Multiple spiked bamboo shoots emerged from the walls and impaled the Digimon. How can a human be capable of fighting a Digimon? It's simply not possible, said one of the Minotauramon in denial. Under normal circumstances, you would be right, but the problem is that I'm not your regular human, said Naruto with a smirk. Destroy him already, said Seals Dramon, rushing in to attack with a combat knife. If only it were that easy. Battle chip. Spreader. Naruto's left arm transformed into an arm cannon as he took aim and fired a single shot which then splits into multiple projectiles to bring down more of the enemy. Activating style change. Style change activated. Equipping Aqua Shadow style. Naruto took on the ninja-esque appearance with the aqua element equipped as he was more familiar with it and immediately took to the offense once more as he dashed forwards whilst darting left and right then rebounding off the walls to confuse his enemies. Battle. Chip. Variable sword. His right arm transformed into an anchor-shaped energy which constantly altered its length and width with each attack as he ran till he was at the end of the hallway and the Digimon behind were utterly defeated and dispersed into data. Now that's over with for now. Naruto moved along and continued his ascent through the factory as he makes use of the speed and stealth of the current to reduce the likeliness of detection. He kept on moving until stopping before a high-tech door after taking another looking at the minimap on the HUD. According to the map, this must be the place. Alright then. Battle chip, cold punch. Naruto reared his right fist back as it was outfitted with a light blue gauntlet before punching the door which instantly froze then pulled back to punch once more to shatter it completely. Naruto went inside cautiously to see multiple screens depicting statistics, blueprints of unknown machinery, machine parts scattered about and many more. He looked about to see anything of great interest in hopes of being able to use it against the Bagra army. Naruto then caught sight of a small silver briefcase and suspected that it might contain something useful, so he approached to examine when a voice suddenly spoke up from behind him. Do not touch that if you wish to live, human. Naruto turned round to see a Saltman standing behind him with his guns aimed right at him. I suspected that you would make your way here while the others would keep my soldiers busy. Hey dude, short time no see. Naruto greeted with a small wave. Don't you give me no lip, you little brat, said Assaultman angrily with the guns spinning in preparation to fire. Naruto crossed his arms with a pout. I'm not little, I just happen to still be in my growing phase, unlike someone who's all metallic and liable to ring like a bell when hit hard enough. That does it. No one insults an elite of the Bagra army and lives to talk about it. First time for everything dude, just grit your teeth and bear it while I punch reality into you. That does it. Die you little brat. Assaultman proceeded to fire rapidly at Naruto, who took to running at high speed to keep out of range of fire as he vaulted over tables and ran along the walls without missing a beat. And I told you that I'm still in the middle of my growing phase, but you won't listen to me anyway, Naruto retorted as he ran. Battle. Chip. Rock Cube. He summoned a large cube of white stone for him to hide behind from the shots fired. Battle Chip. Flash Bomb. Naruto held out an open palm for a white orb of light to materialize before tossing it into the air as it unleashed a bright flash of light. Arg. My eyes. Assaultman stopped firing and squeezed his eyes shut in pain from the sudden action, which proved to be a mistake on his part. Battle Chip. Step Cross. Naruto transforms both arms into energy blades as he warped from his position to appear before Assaultman and striking out with a cross slash across his opponent's chest. Assaultman growled in anger and swung an arm at Naruto, who ducked under it and rolled backwards to avoid the follow-up. Battle Chip. Silver Fist. Naruto's fist was outfitted with a silver gauntlet this time as he slammed into Assaultman with a haymaker punch to send him flying across the room and smashing into a wall before collapsing to the ground. Assaultman struggled back to his feet and glared at Naruto with utmost, "You damn human, I'll destroy you for this." Naruto quirked an eyebrow in response. "Given that I've been giving you a bad time, you're gonna have to forgive my skepticism at your sentence." Die. Justice Massacre. Assaultman aimed all weapons including the rifles on his back at Naruto and unleashed a salvo of bullets towards Naruto with all his power. Oh crap. Battle Chip. Barrier 200. Naruto encased himself in a dome of magenta energy as it defended him against the oncoming barrage, but knew well that it won't hold for long. Grr. Can't afford to waste any more time with you when others need my help. So I'm going to end it right here and now. Naruto scrolled through the lineup of battle chips and rapidly selected them. Battle Chip, Quintuple. Cannon 1. A screen opened up on his HUD. Program Advance executed. Omega Cannon 1. Naruto held his arms out in front of him and closed together as a large cannon appeared on them. He charged it to the max, then he took aim before firing a massive blast which completely engulfed Assaultman before he could even scream, with the attack continuing onwards and piercing through the factory until it dissipated to reveal gaping holes through the walls in its wake. Naruto exhaled as the cannon disappeared after its use before smirking. Well, that takes care of that. Now to grab that briefcase and regroup with Huckman and the others. Naruto went over to pick up said item, then had a thought, might as well take a shortcut. Battle Chip, Drill. Arm. His free arm transformed into a large drill which began spinning rapidly and leapt into the air, then performed a nosedive as he burrowed through the floors to the bottom. Back with Huckman and Zubamon along with the Commandermon, they were getting worn out from the long fight and gradually losing ground against the Bagra army as they took cover. They just keep coming no matter how many we take down, Huckman panted out. Our situation looks grim, sir, said one of the Commandermon, ducking behind cover after tossing a grenade. Have faith, comrades, our general shall arrive to aid us soon, said Zubamon. There was a loud rumble above them as debris fell through the hole made by Zubamon and Huckman, then energy blasts shot out from the dust cloud. Took down some of the Bagra army before clearing to reveal Naruto firing his Megabuster before dashing backwards and flipping over to hide next to the Digimon. Sorry I'm late, had to deal with minor inconveniences before getting back here, said Naruto. Better late than never, Naruto. Did you find anything useful? Asked Huckman. Naruto held out the briefcase. Sort of. Pretty sure there are some goodies in here for us, but we should deal with these guys first before anything else. Sure thing. Naruto took out his Xaro's loader. Alright then, time to get serious, activating Digivolution. The screen flashed brightly as a golden beam fell from the sky and engulfed both Huckman and Zubamon. Huckman Digivolved 2. Boa Huckman. Huckman digivolved into his champion form and fully re-energized to continue the fight. Zubamon digivolved too. His body changed from bipedal to that of a quadruped with the lack of the white tattered cape. There's also a golden shortsword embedded through the chest from the back, and possesses a long curved tail with an extremely sharp edge. Zubagermon. And now for me, time for a change of pace. Naruto accessed a different style change. Style change activated. Equipping Wood Guts style. Naruto switched from the Shadow style to the Guts style before charging in along with Boa Huckman and Zubagermon as he swung his fist from left to right, sending enemies flying, then switching to the Guts machine gun to fire rapidly from a distance. Dragri Spiker. Boa Huckman lunged at the enemy and proceeded to unleash a combo of kicks with the blades on his legs to even, launching several of them into the air for a follow-up attack. Burn Flame. He opened his mouth to spew a stream of flames, incinerating a majority of them before moving on to engage the next group of enemies. Meanwhile, Zubagermon was constantly barreling through the enemies without losing moment with headbutts and slashes with his bladed tail. Shoots were fired at him, but he remained unhindered in his assault. Vantheon. Zubagermon curled his body into a ball and spun rapidly towards the enemies, slicing them consecutively akin to that of a bladed wheel. Naruto backhanded another cluster of enemies and punched the ground to trigger a shockwave to knock them to the ground. Battle Chip. Boomer 1. His right arm transformed a V-shaped boomerang attached, which he threw to slash through several before returning to be caught and then thrown again. The number of enemies was soon thinned to a pitiful amount, with the team standing victorious. "Well, that wasn't so bad. I was expecting much worse than this," said Boa Huckman with a shrug. "Try not to jinx us, buddy. We need to get the other Digimon out of here and locate the Code Crown," said Naruto. "By the 20th blink of my eyes, you're right. We must make haste and reunite with the rest of our comrades," said Zubagermon. They were about to head for where the others are when they heard the sound of an engine and the ground itself was quaking slightly. They turned to see something come through one of the openings made from their battle and saw a Digimon leering at them. It's a humanoid purple-skinned dinosaur donning a golden helmet and equipped with clawed gauntlets, and its lower is that of a military tank equipped with dual cannons, machine guns and missile turrets. "So you're the runts causing trouble around here," said the Digimon angrily. "Who's this guy?" asked Boa Huckman with a small frown. "He's Tank Dramon, the leader of the faction here in the factory zone," said one of the Commandramon warily. "Indeed I am, and you have some nerve to attempt such a tirade," said Tank Dramon. "Well, your boss man is causing major problems for this world, so I'm here to put things right," said Naruto with a frown, getting nods of agreement from Boa Huckman and Zubagermon. "Insolent cur. Bagramon-sama is the rightful ruler of the digital world. Many rebel when they don't know what's best for them unless we force them to see the glories soon to be brought upon us all. We call bull on that. Your master seeks to satisfy only himself and no one else. The only ones blind and deaf around here are you guys," said Boa Huckman angrily. "Such a waste of data. A pity you must all be erased for the sake of Bagramon-sama's success." Tank Dramon took on an aggressive stance. "We'd like to see you try," said Zubagermon in a challenging manner. "But first, Battle Chip. Zap Ring 3. Naruto's right arm transformed into an arm cannon shaped like a type of power plug as he fired a fast ring of electricity which struck Tank Dramon, paralyzing him. "Come on, this way." Naruto quickly vaulted over him and ran out of the factory through the opening behind him, with the other two following after him. "Where are we going?" asked Boa Huckman. "Outside, so we can get some breathing room and not worry about bringing the factory down on our heads as well as the others still in there," Naruto replied. "An astute reason, as expected of our general," said Zubagermon in approval. The trio soon found themselves at a large intersection which has the ample space needed and didn't have to wait long as Tank Dramon soon arrived with an angry growl, having shaken off the paralysis. "You're only prolonging your deaths," said Tank Dramon in anger. "We'll just see about that. Let's start streaming this battle live," said Naruto with determination. Music start. Sonic Heroes Ost. Boss. Egg Emperor. I'm starting off strong, Team Blade. Boa Huckman lunged at Tank Dramon whilst spinning at speeds enough to generate whirlwind before lashing out with a swing of his tail blade, only for Tank Dramon to cross his arms and block it without a flinch. "Just getting started. FIF cross." He spun round and slashed repeatedly with his claws, but the opponent was still holding strong from the assault with nary a grimace of pain. "You're an annoyance." Tank Dramon swung an arm to send Boa Huckman flying, but Red Blur intercepted to grab hold and revealed to be Naruto restraining the arm with his fist. Zubagermon seized the opportunity and rushed forward with his head lowered. Road T.W.O. Decade. He thrusts his bladed horn towards the target's chest whilst yelling, 20est. However, Tank Dramon tossed Boa Huckman away, then quickly grabbed Naruto to slam him into Zubagermon like a club to send them both flying from him. "Weaklings. See how you can handle this, Blast Gatling." Tank Dramon used the gun turrets on his sides to unleash a barrage of bullets towards the trio. Naruto saw the incoming attack and quickly took to the defense lest they'd be done for. Mega Chip, Life Aura. He spread his arms out to generate a dome of dark energy around himself and his companions as it defended them against the relentless pelting of bullets. Battle Chip, High Cannon X2. Two cannon turrets materialized behind Tank Dramon and opened fire, which was more than enough to disrupt his attack. Battle Chip, Tank Cannon 3. Naruto then summoned a large red and blue cannon which covered his upper body as he fired a powerful round with the recoil pushing him back a bit, but the projectile inflicted decent amount of damage upon impact. Here's a bonus. Burn Flame. Boa Huckman spewed a stream of flames in addition to Naruto's attack. Zubagermon looked to the sky and frowned at what he was seeing. Have care, comrades, more foes have arrived. The duo followed suit to see Minotauramon, Seals Dramon, Troopmon and Missamon arrive behind their leader. Surely you didn't think I was stupid to pursue you alone without calling for reinforcements, said Tank Dramon arrogantly. I'm up for ideas if you got any, Naruto, said Boa Huckman warily. They had been fighting for quite some time before this without a proper moment of rest and knows full well that they won't last for much longer than initially planned. Naruto was thinking along the same lines and coming up with ways to turn this situation around to their favor and come out of it alive. He was snapped out of his thoughts upon hearing a voice speak up. My, what is this I see? A group of bullies harassing little children. I wonder what their mummies would feel when they hear of this. Everyone looked around in search of the voice until setting their sights atop a tall chimney of a factory where they saw a black silhouette who then leapt off to land on the ground in their midst for a clearer view. This Digimon is a tall humanoid with the voluptuous figure of a female with a bird-like mask covering the top half of her face and long platinum-colored hair flowing out from the back. She's dressed in a jet-black leather suit with her midriff exposed, which practically hug her figure very tightly along with a long muffler. Naruto took note of the dual tri-barreled pistols holstered to her hips. Who are you? Tank Dramon demanded. The Digimon smirked in response. Why, I am a mere lover of music, dance and anything that goes. Bang bang. As well as a bully of bullies like you. You can call me Bell Starmon, but friends call me Bielko. She gave a saucy wink at Naruto, who blushed behind his faceplate. If you support this human, then you're an enemy of Bagramon-sama and must be destroyed. All of you attack now, said Tank Dramon, with the Digimon complying to the command as they charged towards them. Bell Starmon unholstered her guns and twirled them in between her fingers before striking a pose. Looks like you all need some spanking. Something I'm happy to oblige. She lunged at the incoming enemies and took to punching and kicking each and every one of them, then evading their attacks before countering them with dance-like moves whilst letting out taunts like, almost, so close, or, too slow. Naruto would have stood dazed all day had it not been for Boa Huckman tackling him out of the way of an incoming missile from Tank Dramon. Snap out of it, Naruto. We gotta beat Tank Dramon fast, said Boa Huckman urgently. Naruto snapped back into focus. You're right, just got an idea and it's gonna be a bit of a gamble but hopefully worth it. Naruto was about to execute the plan when someone called out to him and turned to see that it was Oramon flying towards him with the briefcase in his talons. What are you doing here with that case, Oramon? Asked Naruto confusedly. Guardramon-sama along with the Sistermons and Commandramon have successfully evacuated the Digimon, then he sent me to you, saying that there's something in the briefcase only you can use since you possess Xaro's loader, Oramon explained. Really? Then let's see what's inside. Naruto unclasped the locks and opened the briefcase to reveal 5 memory stick pros with images of different Digimon on each, something which caused Boa Huckman to gasp upon recognizing them. These are Digi-memories, Boa Huckman exclaimed. Digi-memories, what are they? Asked Naruto confusedly. They're said to contain the data of legendary Digimon possessing great power. Well, this could be just what the doctor ordered. Naruto bought out his Xaro's loader and randomly picked one of the Digi-memories while hoping Lady Luck is on his side. He inserted the Digi-memory into a slot at the side of the Xaro's loader. This caused digital screens to appear on either side of him, containing information along with a rotating magic circle hovering overhead. Naruto read off the information before calling out, Gewalt Schwarmer, activate. Then a solid hologram of the legendary Digimon appeared from the summoning circle. Tank Dramon turned towards the human and his eyes widened in disbelief upon seeing the hologram. That's Gundramon. A legendary Digimon, but he's supposed to be extinct. Gundramon aimed every one of its firearms towards the Bagra army and unleashed an all-round volley fire which completely decimated a majority, with few barely surviving, as Bellstarmon looked upon the hologram with a smile of nostalgia before it faded away, and Naruto noticed that the image on the digi-memory had turned black before putting it away. Phew, what a lucky break. Naruto turned towards Tank Dramon. It's all over, Tank Dramon. No. It's not over until I've destroyed you all. Striver Cannon. Tank Dramon fired shots from his back cannons that split into many missiles before converging towards the group. Oh no, that's Tank Dramon's strongest attack, said Oromon in worry. I got an idea and it's just crazy enough to work, but I'll need some help for this, said Naruto after a few moments. Go for it, Naruto, we got your back, said Boa Huckman with a nod of support, and Zubagermon nodded as well. Alright then, Battle Chip. Typhoon plus Hurricane plus Cyclone plus Repair, Naruto called out. Program Advance executed. Death Storm. Naruto's fist transformed into a giant jet turbine which he had to hold up with his other hand as he aimed it at the incoming missiles and created a windstorm so fierce that he was almost blown off his feet. Had Boa Huckman and Zubagermon held him in place from behind, the missiles were unable to resist the wind pressure for long and were sent high into the sky, where they detonated harmlessly. Naruto collapsed to his knees with the Digimon checking on him with concern. You okay, Naruto? Asked Boa Huckman. Why yeah, just really tired right now, Naruto panted out. Then you shall die. Tank Dramon prepared to fire his guns at them. Fly bullet. A bullet whizzed through the air and pierced through Tank Dramon's chest, with his eyes wide in shock turning to see Bellstarmon aiming a gun at him with smoke emerging from the muzzle before bringing it up to her lips and blowing it out. Now, can't have you doing that, you naughty little boy. Damn, you, all. Tank Dramon dispersed into data, signaling the end of the battle. Music, and Naruto reverted to his normal form as the armor dispersed into pixels, then converged to form the pet before dropping into his hands with the synchro chip popping out, and the two Digimon reverted to their rookie forms as they approached Bellstarmon. Thank for helping us, Bellstarmon-san. We truly appreciate it, said Naruto with a bow. Bellstarmon giggled in response. My, aren't you quite the gentleman, much politer compared to the other I ran into some time ago. Other, you mean there's someone else in this world with the X-Rose loader? Of course, he calls his team Blue Flare, which makes me ask for the name of your team. We are Team Konoha and Naruto Uzumaki is our general, said Zubamon proudly. Well then, cutie, I hope to see you again sometime, said Bellstarmon with another wink. Wait, why not join us? We could use the help, said Huckman. Sorry little dragon, but this lady has things to do, places to go, and naughty children to spank. Bellstarmon whistled. Then they heard the roaring of an engine as a jet-black motorcycle with a red windshield on the headlight before she got on. The next time we meet, you can call me Bielko-chan. Then she rode off at high speed with a friendly wave. Whoa, she's amazing and cool too, said Naruto in wonder. Then he noticed glowing from the corner of his eye and turned to see a pool of golden energy as a code crown rose into the air before them. Hey guys, we just found another code crown. He scampered over to take it and noticed that this one has an image of a cog to signify the theme of the zone. Awesome. Let's head back and tell everyone the good news, said Huckman happily. Yet another victory for Team Konoha. I am beside myself with joy, said Zubamon. Oromon was in agreement. Gardramon-sama will be most pleased to hear of this. 2 days after the battle and everyone had gained enough rest, it was time for Naruto and the others to leave, much to the sadness of the residents of the factory zone. Though it saddens me to see you off, I understand your reasons for moving on, said Gardramon. Yeah, there are other zones in need of help from the Bagra army, and we're going to provide just that while showing the enemy the consequences of their actions. And hopefully you let us in on the action more, said Noir with a pout, and Blanc nodded reluctantly in agreement. That was when a group of the Commandramon and Oromon came, and one of them stepped forward and spoke. General Naruto, we'd like to request permission to join your team. Naruto blinked in surprise. But won't you be needed to protect this place? Some of us are already staying back for that purpose, so we wish to come along with you and help put a stop to Bagramon's ambitions. Then in that case, you're welcome to the team, said Naruto, smiling as they cheered at his acceptance. Before you leave, we have smithing that might be of use to you. Guardraman spoke up, then beckoned for the Digimon to step forward as they held out two items to him. The first is a metal-plated blue hoverboard with a yellow stripe ringing around it and a gray foot panel with striations, and the second is a high-tech saber with a silver-colored blade and handle partially resembling that of a gun. The first is a hoverboard capable of allowing the rider to fly or at least hover at high speeds while requiring the use of air as fuel. We call it the Blue Star. The second is a weapon we call the Gunblade, as it is capable of transforming into a firearm or a blade in the midst of battle. It is named Blazefire Saber. We also modified your backpack so it can contain more items and still not weigh you down. It is the least we can do for now to help you. And we truly appreciate it. Thank you for everything, and we hope to see you again, said Naruto with a smile of gratefulness as he holstered the gunblade to his hip with the harness provided and placed the blue star into his backpack as it went in rather easily with lots of space to spare. Naruto held out the code crown and inserted it into a slot on the side of the XRO's loader. Zone transfer. A green beam of light shot out of the screen to form a swirling green vortex before them. Let's get going, guys. Righto, said Huckman before they all went into the XRO's loader. Then Naruto ran into the portal as it disappeared with him, floating through the mainstream with him heading towards the next zone. This is Husbeck Online with the latest chapter. I really went all out with this chapter and hope that it is satisfactory for everyone as an entry to the new year. No worries about Belle Starmon, as she will join later in the story, and I'm still working on more Digixrox forms along the way. I've also introduced the usage of Digimemories, and they'll be different from the ones which Taiki uses, plus Navi chips will definitely make an appearance in future chapters. Team Konoha members and harem. Huckman, partner, Coronaman Lunaman. Ryudamon Oramon * Cannonbeamon Sistermon Noir, harem, * Sistermon Blanc, harem, * Sistermon Seal, harem. Basedman, harem. Zubamon * Doramon Gatamon, Anjuamon, harem. Black Gatamon, Lady Devamon, harem. Renamon, Sakuyamon, harem. Ranamon, harem. Lilymon, harem. Lilimon, harem. Ignitemon, Mervamon's brother. Belle Starmon, harem. Kazimon, harem. Ancient Mermaidman, harem. Medieval Dukemon. Strabamon Flamon Commandramon X7 * Nene is also in the harem. Be sure to read and review as always. This is Husbeck from Ghana. Signing out, but not before wishing you all a happy new year. Looking for a good workout, ninja of the Digixrox Battle Network. Chapter 5. Looking for a good workout. So far I've gotten the code crowns from the Dino Zone and the Factory Zone. Makes me wonder what the next zone is going to be like, said Naruto as he floated through the vortex. Since his departure from the Factory Zone after helping defeat a faction of the Bagra army, he took notice that he was reaching the end of the vortex and got ready to exit. The blonde general emerged from the vortex to land on the ground before looking around to get a good view of where he is. Naruto took note that he was standing at the gateway to a city which seems to take its theme from the Grecian age mixed with that of the digital age, as he could see circuits glowing along the walls of the buildings and rainbow-colored barcodes floating in the blue skies above. The biggest eye-catcher would be the giant Colosseum sitting in the middle of the city. I wonder what kind of zone this place is about, besides appearing similar to what I read in my history books. Naruto wondered as he looked around. The screen on the XRO's loader glowed briefly before Zubamon, Huckman and the Sistermons emerged from it to stand next to him. By the 20th blink of my eye, we're in the Colosseum zone, said Zubamon with growing excitement. You know this place? Huckman was the one to explain. It would be difficult for a Digimon to not know of this zone. This where all the strongest gather to test their skills and prowess against each other in the Colosseum over there. This place is what separates the pros from the rookies. Whoa, kinda reminds me of the Chunin exams, said Naruto thoughtfully. So, what do we do now that we're here? Asked Blanc curiously. Might as well check out the place. Gather any useful information relating to the Code Crown or anything suspicious. No doubt the Bagra army are already here but in hiding. By the 20th salute, it will be done. Zubamon ran off before anything else could be said. Better get a move on too. Let's go, Blanc, said Noir as she began pulling her sister along into town. Naruto looked down at Huckman. Guess it's just you and me. Yup. Let's check things out since it's been a while that I last visited, said Huckman. The duo began exploring the city as they saw the hustle and bustle of the Digimon residing there. Naruto took out his Xaro's loader to identify some of them. They were Bidmon, Bergamon, Elecmon, Gaomon and many more. They noticed the many posters put all over the city and went to read one of them. It's an announcement about an upcoming tournament where the winners would be crowned champions of the Colosseum and be placed in the Hall of Fame. "Hey Naruto, let's take part. I'm sure we can win the whole thing," said Huckman excitedly. Naruto crossed his arms with a thoughtful look on his face. "We could take part, but we'll need to train. Ever since I came to the digital world, we didn't really have a chance to do that because of the Bagra army. Now that you mention it, it's true. There's a lot of training grounds scattered all over the Colosseum zone. There's one near here. Lead the way, buddy." Huckman led Naruto to one of the training grounds, which appears as a blank area with a holographic control panel at the edge of it. Huckman pointed out that the control panel utilizes a hardlight feature which is then used to simulate various courses such as target practice, obstacle course, training dummy generation, etc. "So, what do we do first?" asked Huckman. "Let's check out the things we got from our friends from the factory zone." Naruto placed the backpack on the ground and reached inside to bring out the Blue Star hoverboard. I recall Gardnerman saying that the Blue Star is fueled by air and can move at high speed. Performing tricks and not using it for a while refuels the board. "Let's give it a try then." He paced the board on the ground and got on it. "Are you sure you can handle it?" asked Huckman worriedly. "Of course. I used to ride a skateboard back home, but my mom kinda sold it when she found out that I've been rather daring with it. Took me a lot of convincing to even get a bike since then. But I haven't forgotten the one major rule when on a board." "What is it?" The hoverboard activated and rose a foot into the air as the blonde smirked, "Never fear falling." He took off in a burst of speed with Huckman looking on in awe as Naruto was learning the ins and outs of the hoverboard, like leaning forward or backward affects the acceleration. Pressing a certain panel on the rear part of the board triggers a speed boost, and the board is also capable of changing its altitude according to Naruto's will. He went on to perform a few easy tricks like ollies, kickflips, heel flips and few others before stopping once he heard the hoverboard beep repeatedly to signal that it was about to run out of air. Naruto hopped off the board to kick the board into the air before catching it under an arm with a wide smirk. "Hey, I still got it." "That was totally cool," said Huckman in awe. "Believe me when I say that those were just the basics. Just need to sharpen my skills again, then I'll show you even crazier moves." "So, what's next?" "Let's try out the saber," said Naruto, walking into the middle of the training arena with Huckman pressing a button on the control panel to make a couple of multicolored holographic targets appear ahead of him. Naruto unholstered the Blazefire saber, which is currently in its gun mode. He thought back on the video games and movies to come up with the type of posture he should take when aiming and how to hold a gun. He pulled the trigger to fire photon bullets while holding it with both hands to get used to the recoil before practicing to fire one-handedly. He now gripped the handle a bit for it to rotate slightly and a blade to protract, signaling its transformation to its sword mode. Huckman changed the settings to switch the targets out for training dummies to appear on the arena. The blonde general took to performing several katas with the saber while switching between wielding with both hands and single to attune to its weight. He suddenly felt a wave of inspiration as he dashed towards one of the dummies and sliced it in half with a horizontal slash, then switched to gun mode to fire a few rounds at another from a distance before leaping onto the air and diving towards the next dummy with a spinning vertical slash to cleave it down to the middle while in blade mode and landing on the ground with a roll. "This could take some getting used to. Good thing I'd been training my body a lot before coming to this world," said Naruto thoughtfully. He was suddenly snapped out of his thoughts upon hearing voices nearby. "Whoa, that's so cool. Never saw a human move like that," said a male voice excitedly. "It's not so bad, there's still room for improvement," said another male voice in a calm tone. "Do you have to be so critical about everything?" Naruto and Huckman turned towards the voices to see two Digimon approach them on the same path which they took to reach the training ground, and they appear to be about Naruto's height. The first Digimon appears to be a humanoid-like monkey with large spiked red hair, cut-off horns and elf-like ears that had 2 gold earrings as well as 2 marks beneath his green eyes. He has a dark skin complexion with a white marking on the left side circling its left pectoral muscle, a bushy flame-like tail and 3 toes with red nails. He wears ankle-length red pants with a belt that went around its sides and a large silver buckle with a symbol for fire on it. The Digimon also has red gauntlets with large silver endings, red anklets and shoulder pads. The second Digimon's appearance is of a bipedal wolf with light purple-colored fur with a white face and stomach, and has amber-colored eyes with diamond-shaped pupils. He wears white leather pants with various belt buckles on its legs and 2 chains dangling from the black belt on either side of it, as well as a silver buckle black belt on its left bicep. He also wears a black tattered scarf, black gloves on his hands with the claws sticking out of them, and 3 red claws on each foot. "Who are you and what are you doing here?" asked Huckman, moving to stand next to Naruto just in case anything happens. "I'm Flamin and this is my buddy Strabamon. This place is our regular training ground. We were coming here for our daily training when we saw you, and our curiosity got the better of us to watch," said Flamin, feeling sheepish at the end of the explanation. Strabamon scoffed with his arms crossed. "Speak for yourself. I was willing to go to one of the other training grounds." Flamin turned to Strabamon with a frown. "Hey, that's not what you said before. You were also curious as to why a human is here." I'm getting Sasuke vibes from this guy," thought Naruto with a sweat drop. "Well, just so you know, Naruto is more than just a human. He's our general of Team Konoha and we're on a mission to defeat the Bagra army," said Huckman with utmost pride. Naruto could feel his Xaro's loader wiggling as if the Digimon inside are agreeing with him. Flamin's eyes widened in surprise. "You're a general? Then that means you have Xaro's loader and can do a Digixrox then." Naruto held out the Xaro's loader for them to see. "Yeah, I have one, but I haven't done a Digixrox yet. Been digivolving my teammates for now." "Just digivolving? Then how did you survive this long?" asked Strabamon. "Well, Naruto has an awesome ace in the hole that I'm totally sure no other general has," said Huckman. "But I doubt it will be enough to get him any further as he is right now," said Strabamon. "What did you say?" said Huckman angrily. "Cut it out, Strabamon. It's probably why they're even training to begin with. To get stronger than they currently are. He is a general after all," said Flamin, getting a nod of affirmation from Naruto. "That's right, I was just getting to know how to use the gifts we got from the factory zone before we came here. I know that there's more to the Xaro's loader than what I can do with it at the moment." "Then you better train hard. I want to see what you can truly do as a general in this upcoming tournament, since I am well aware that you're seeking out the code crown of this zone," said Strabamon. "You guys will be taking part of it?" Flamin nodded in affirmation. "That's right, only the strongest of teams will participate to claim the title and prove themselves capable of protecting the code crown of the zone." Wouldn't put it past the Bagra army that they would try to get the code crown that way since they aren't moving around in plain sight, thought Naruto. "In that case, we'll meet again in the battlefield and I'll show you how I came this far." Don't disappoint me," said Strabamon before walking away. "See ya, Naruto. Looking forward to seeing you do more cool stuff," Flamin waved before running after Strabamon. "What's with that guy, underestimating us? We were able to acquire 2 code crowns without a Digixrox. That shows just how strong we are," said Huckman with a frown. "Yeah, but we'll be a whole lot stronger once we get a hang of the Xaro's loader's potential. Digivolving you to your champion forms won't be enough. I know we can go beyond that," said Naruto, reaching into his backpack and bringing out a bag of chips. Huckman eagerly approached to get some. "Well, I recall from my teachings that digivolution between a human and Digimon requires the sharing of energy, so the larger the amount of energy then the further the Digimon can access higher levels of power." "Then what about Digixrox?" Naruto tossed a chip for Huckman to snap up while eating one. "Now for Digixrox, it can be considered a different version of Digivolution, as it is fusing 2 or more Digimon which belong to the general's army into one. Most at times, the Digimon with the strongest mental fortitude would be the one in control while the others would act as weapons, armor or other accessories. You could refer to them as Digixrox units." "So, you mean that if I were to Digixrox you with Zubamon, your power would increase along with being equipped with his blades?" asked Naruto. "That's right, the possibilities with the Digixrox are endless. We just to figure out the potential combinations." "I see," Naruto hummed in thought. This has pretty much opened his mind to a lot of things, which would not be a good thing for the opposition. "Let's meet up with the others so we can find a place to stay." "Sure thing," said Huckman before the duo began making their way back into the city. They were halfway there when the sound of music was suddenly being heard. "Where's that music coming from?" It's coming from over there. Naruto traced the source of the music to a tree and saw someone sitting on the branches. It appears to be a humanoid Digimon with a strong resemblance to a satyr, as he has the lower body of a goat with the upper body of a human. 3 black horns are nestled within a short messy silver hair. Red tattoos are seen on his arms, chest and cheeks. He wears a black tattered open vest, white gloves with framed blue gems, a pair of silver pants, red ribbons tied at the ankles and a red tattered scarf. The Digimon was playing on a set of reed pipes when he noticed that he has an audience and looked down at them. "Oh, hello there, didn't know my music drew a human and Digimon to me." "Yeah, we were kinda curious to know who was playing the music. My name's Naruto Uzumaki and this is my buddy Huckman." Naruto introduced himself with Huckmon waving a paw in greeting. "Well, I am Agiomon. It's a pleasure to meet you both. I'm curious to ask why a human would be here, since humans are rather uncommon here in the digital world." "Well, we're here to take part in the tournament so we can win the Code Crown," said Naruto. Agiomon frowned at that. "So you're going to fight?" "That's pretty much the point of being in a tournament," said Huckman with a quirked eyebrow. "Sigh, just what is the point of fighting? Inflicting pain upon each other out of self-satisfaction isn't the way to live, that isn't the best way to live one's life," said Agiomon, lost in memory with a sad look on his face. "What do you mean by that?" asked the confused Digimon. "Many lives, hopes and dreams have been destroyed in the aftermath of fighting. Why doesn't anyone wish to settle things peacefully without hurting innocents?" Agiomon turned towards the duo. "I just hope that you realize the pointlessness of fighting before it's too late." He dropped from the tree branch to the ground before walking away from them. "What's his deal? He's making it sound like fighting is a terrible thing to do. We wouldn't have been able to protect the Digimon from the Bagra army and get the Code Crowns if we didn't fight," said Huckman with a frown. Naruto was quiet for a moment before speaking. "I know, but I can also understand where he's coming from." "What do you mean by that?" It was the way he spoke. He must have suffered greatly because of a fight which most likely occurred where he was from before coming here. "You think it was the Bagra army?" "I don't know for sure, but it made him see the negative side of fighting. I can tell that Agiomon wants the fighting to stop but doesn't really know how to go about it without ending up going through the very same process he dislikes greatly. Then here's an idea. We could show him that fighting isn't a terrible thing tomorrow at the Colosseum, and it could be done for the right reasons," Huckman suggested. Naruto smiled in approval. "Sounds like a plan. Our main objective tomorrow is to win and look good doing it. Let's head on back, looking forward to having a restful sleep." They soon reunited with Zubamon and the Sistermons, with the latter having already rented a room at an inn ahead of time, which he was grateful but was surprised to learn from Zubamon that he received an entry pass to participate in the Colosseum tomorrow. Naruto returned the Digimon into the Xaro's loader and went to sit at the bed to sort a few things on his pet for the battles, but his mind strayed to what Zubamon said earlier today. "I was roaming the streets like the good gatherer of information that I am when something blurred right in front of me and I saw a letter along with the entry pass for tomorrow's tournament in the Colosseum. I knew not what was going on but had the utmost faith that our general would uncover the mystery," said Zubamon. "It's a mystery all right. Don't even need Shikamaru to tell me that this can't be a coincidence or even a stroke of good luck. Someone wants us to take part, but the question is why?" Naruto hummed in thought. "Better be on guard. I get the feeling that there's lots of eyes on me, which is a given after what I did in the previous zones. Hey, gave them a reason not to overlook me." Naruto went to bed, unaware that someone has been spying on him from the roof of a building a block away. It appears to a Digimon being a short ninja dressed in a deep green ninja garb with a CRT monitor for a head. The Digimon watched as the blonde general fell asleep before disappearing in a puff of smoke with intentions to report to its master. This is Huspec Online with the latest chapter. Naruto and his team have arrived at their next destination, which is the Colosseum Zone, where the strongest Digimon gather to compete and prove to be the best above others. Naruto and Huckman went on to do a little test run with the Blue Star and Blazefire Saber when they were visited by a cheerful Flamen and cool-headed Strabamon who look forward to facing them in the tournament. The duo also encounters a pacifistic Agiomon who dislikes fighting, possibly due to a terrible past. As if that wasn't enough, Zubamon hands over an entry pass to the very same tournament to Naruto from an unknown source, with the blonde soon suspecting that something else is already going on in the zone, but the question now is what it is exactly. I also intend on adding a certain factor which I'm sure many would welcome. Be sure to read and review as always. This is Husbeck from Ghana, signing out and staying alive. Be the champs ninja of the Digixrox. Battle Network Chapter 6. Be the champs. Naruto along with Huckman, Sistermon Noir and some of the Commandramon were at the training area and using the shooting range feature to practice their long-range attacks as well as improve upon their accuracy in the early morning. They kept at it until the session was over and the simulation came to an end. Naruto let out a sigh as he holstered the Blazefire saber and stretched a bit to work out the kinks in his joints before turning to the others. Alright guys, warm-up session is over. Let's head on over to the Coliseum and learn exactly how the tournament goes. Sistermon Noir twirled her pistols with a smirk before putting them away. Hey, I'm all set to make some noise. Sister, please calm down, said Sistermon Blanc. Let us be off, great battles await us, said Zubamon in excitement. Alright guys, we're going. Naruto recalled the Digimon save for Huckman and the Sistermons into the Xro's loader before they began to make their way to the Coliseum where they met the receptionist, which is a Bitmon. Hello there, are you here to watch or take part in the tournament? If it is the latter, please present the pass required to do so, asked the Bitmon politely. Naruto held out the invite which he had on him to the Bitmon. Here you go. Is there anything that we need to know concerning this tournament? It's nothing complicated. You'll be partaking in a series of arena matches against groups of fellow fighters with only two ways of attaining victory, being by knockout or surrender. Keep in mind that killing is highly discouraged. The Bitmon explained the rules. Naruto and the others nodded in understanding. Okay then, where do we go from here? Just head down that hallway to the end and wait at the gates. It will lead you to the arena and I wish you all good luck. Thanks, we'll give it all we got, said Huckman with determination. They made their way down the hallway until arrived at the aforementioned gates, which was currently closed, and they could hear the crowd outside. So, what's the plan? Like you said before, give it all we've got, said Naruto with a smirk as he kept a hand on the pet and Xro's loader. Sounds about right, said Noir from inside the Xro's loader. Over at the arena where numerous Digimon are seated around it and chattering in growing excitement about what they are soon going to witness when the announcer began to speak through the loudspeaker for all to hear. Hello everyone and welcome to today's tournament here in our famous Coliseum where many Digimon gather round to test their skills and medal against each other. The winning team of this tournament will be declared champions and have their names recorded in the Hall of Fame for eternity. The crowd cheered loudly upon hearing this, with the announcer continuing with his speech. Now without further ado, let us begin. We've got quite an interesting turnout this year, as you're all about to see. Let's start by introducing the first group. Team Konoha. The gates on one side opened up as Naruto and Huckman stepped into the arena whilst waving at the crowd, who became even more excited at the sight of them. Guess me being a human is really a big deal around here, Naruto muttered. Like you wouldn't believe, especially if one is a general, said Huckman. And on the other side, we have Team Dino. The gate at the other end opened up as well for the opposing team to step through and get onto the arena. Naruto used his Xro's loader to identify them as Stegomon, Tyrannomon and Monochromon. As a reminder, the match is won when all members of a team are knocked out or surrender to the opposing team. Without any further delay, let the battle begin. Music start. Kingdom Hearts OST. Go for it. Naruto held out the Xro's loader with the screen glowing. Reload. Zubamon. A flash of light shot out and landed on the ground to reveal Zubamon next to Huckman, battle ready. I am the 20th. Zubamon declared. Now to get my game face on, D-Trans. Execute. Naruto inserted the synchro chip into the pet to transform into his Mega Mode before talking out the Xro's loader. And now, activating Digivolution. The screen flashed brightly as a golden beam fell from the sky and engulfed both Huckman and Zubamon. Huckman Digivolved to Boa Huckman. Huckman digivolved into his champion form and fully re-energized to continue the fight. Zubamon digivolved too. His body changed from bipedal to that of a quadruped with the lack of the white tattered cape. There's also a golden short sword embedded through the chest from the back, and possesses a long curved tail with an extremely sharp edge, Zubagermon. Looks like Team Konoha are starting things off with Digivolution and a unique transformation. I wonder how Team Dino will respond to this, said the announcer. Fire Breath. The Tyrannomon opened its mouth to unleash crimson flames towards its targets, with the Monochromon joining in with its own attack. Grand Fire. The dinosaur Digimon breathed out a wave of fire that swept along the ground in combination with Tyrannomon's attack. Whoa there, that's a lot of fire, Battlechip, Mole 1. Naruto stomped the ground to materialize a hole before him. Quick, jump in. He leapt into the hole with Boa Huckman and Zubagermon following after him right before the flames almost consumed them. The Dino team waited for the flames to die down when the ground beneath their feet suddenly burst open and Naruto attacked the Tyrannomon with an uppercut below the jaw, knocking it back with the other two Digimon attacking their selected targets. FIF Cross. Boa Huckman lunged at the Monochromon as he spun round and slashed repeatedly with his claws before leaping backwards. Burn Flame. He then spewed a stream of flames with pinpoint accuracy for additional damage. The Monochromon regained its focus and wasted no time to retaliate. Guardy Tusk. It lowered its head before charging forward with intent to ram into the target with its horn. Boa Huckman knew better than to attack head-on and waited until the last minute to dash to the side to evade the attack before quickly moving in to attack from its blind spot. Teen Blade. He proceeded to spin his bladed tail like a whirlwind, inflicting cuts on the target. With Zubagermon, he was currently engaging the Stegomon, Vantheon. Zubagermon curled his body into a ball and spun rapidly akin to that of a bladed wheel. Guillotine Wheel. The Stegomon responded in kind as it curled up into a ball and began to spin, turning into a living saw and slicing with its row of spikes. Both clashed in the middle and struggled for dominance, but the Stegomon had the most advantage with its size, knocking Zubagermon down to the ground with the Digimon closing in to attack. Naruto suddenly appeared in between them, having used the Area Steel Battlechip, Crack Out. He punched the ground to create a hole for the Stegomon to fall into the trap and followed up with another attack. Battlechip, Geyser. He slammed a palm onto ground, causing a mild quake before Stegomon was launched into the air by a large waterspout from the hole before falling to the ground. Zubagermon seized the opportunity and leapt into the air with his head lowered. Road T.W.O. Decade. He thrusts his bladed horn towards the falling target's underbelly whilst yelling, 20est. He slammed into the target but withdrew most of his attack power to avoid lethal damage, but enough to knock it out as it crashed to the ground. Looks like Team Wild Fang has a teammate down. Things don't look good for them, said the announcer amidst the excited spectators. Tyrannomon growled at this and went into the offensive. Wild Buster. He charged forward with a shoulder tackle whilst engulfed in flames at Naruto and Zubagermon, with both of them leaping out of the way to avoid getting hit, but the Digimon continued with its relentless charge to try to get a hit on them. Zubagermon, go help out Boa Huckman while I deal with this guy, Naruto called out as he leapt over the burning Tyrannomon. Zubagermon nodded in affirmation. Very well, do be careful. He went over to assist Boa Huckman with the Monochromon. Naruto quickly scrolled through the list of battlechips from his HUD before finding the one needed and selected it. Battlechip, Bubbler. He transformed his right arm into a water hose, which he took aim at the approaching Digimon and fired a highly compressed stream of water which stopped the Tyrannomon in its tracks, easily dousing the flames. Battlechip, Windrack. He switched out the water hose for a fan which he swung to launch a powerful gust of wind to send Tyrannomon flying and crash into the wall of the arena where it laid unconscious. With Zubagermon and Boa Huckman, they were finishing things up on their side as they combined Vantheon and FIF Cross together to defeat the Monochromon as it laid on the ground, unable to continue the battle. Music end. We have ourselves the winner, and it's Team Konoha, the announcer called out with the crowd cheering loudly. Nicely done, guys, said Naruto with a thumbs up. Ah, the triumphant feeling of victory. It makes me desire for more, said Zubagermon. Boa Huckman puffed his chest with pride. It wasn't a big deal, I wasn't even trying. Don't get cocky or I'm gonna tell Seal on you, Noir called out from the XRO's loader, making the Digimon pale in fear. Why, you don't have to tell her every single thing. For some reason, I don't want to find out why he's so scared of this Seal person, thought Naruto with a small shiver. Team Konoha is off to a good start, now let's see how they do against Team Talon, said the announcer. The next group of Digimon made their way to the arena with Naruto using his XRO's loader to identify them, Peckman, Toucanman and Penguinman. Without further ado, battle begin. Music resume Naruto held out his Xaro's loader. Okay guys, I'm gonna switch you out to rest for later. Alright. But you'd better win this too, said Boa Huckman before being recalled into the Xaro's loader along with Zuba Eagermon. Now then, reload Sistermons and Commandermon's squad. Naruto summoned the aforementioned Digimon. Finally, let's do this. Noir excitedly brought out her handguns. Please calm down, sister, said Blanc, holding her trident at the ready. Ready for your orders, sir. The Commandermon saluted with their assault rifles at the ready. Stay on target and look sharp, we need to keep them at a distance, Naruto commanded. Sir, yes sir. The Commandermon immediately took positions at the front line and stood at the ready. Peckman scoffed at the sight of this. They think that they can pick us off from a distance? Let's prove them otherwise. Got it. Ice Prism. Penguinman opened its beak and started to fire ice shards at the opposition team with Toucanman following suit with its attack as well. Marble Ball. It began shooting colorful balls of light at the opponents from its mouth in combination for a barrage. Hey sis, could use some defense over here, said Noir urgently. Okay. Protective Wave. Blanc stabbed the butt end of her trident into ground, generating a shield of energy before the group, protecting them from the incoming projectiles. Then Noir noticed something off. Hey, where did that Peckman go? Up here. Everyone looked up to see Peckman flying overhead where it proceeded to dive towards them at high speed. Open fire. Keep him away. Commandermon unleashed a volley of bullets with their assault rifles, but Peckman rapidly darted left and right to evade the bullets in his approach. He's moving too fast. Let's see you block this. Spiral Claw. Peckman rapidly spun its entire body and lashed out with both legs in an attempt to pulverize them. Don't forget that I'm here to stop you. Naruto lunged at the Peckman with a fist reared back. Battle Chip, Silver Fist. His arm was outfitted with a silver-plated gauntlet before he attacked with a straight punch, colliding with Peckman's spinning claw. The clash continued for a bit before resulting in a draw with both landing away from each other, but Naruto noted that Peckman was smirking for some reason. What could he be up to? Thought Naruto. He was snapped out of his thoughts by a cry of pain and turned around to see Blanc having been attacked from behind by Penguinman, Blanc-chan. So, he was acting as a decoy to get our guard down. Get away from my sister, you flightless bird. Noir angrily fired at the Penguinman that quickly moved away by sliding along the ground on its belly, which was a lot faster compared to moving on its feet. You're open. Peckman leapt high into the air once more with its great speed, kunai feathers. It launched steel feathers it stored in the undersides of its wings towards them with no way to evade in. Blanc was too damaged to use Protective Wave to defend them. It's over. I don't think so. Activating Style Change. Style Change activated. Equipping Wood Shield Style. A green dome appeared around Naruto. He moved to intercept, then it faded away to reveal the blonde in a different form. His bodysuit had changed, with the blue being replaced with green, as he is equipped with a pauldron on his left shoulder and a shield on his right arm. Naruto appeared in front of the group with his shield raised. Battle Chip, bar 200. He formed a domed shield of energy which is further enhanced by his current style change, defending everyone against the incoming projectiles before moving to counter. Now back off. Battle Chip, air shot. He transformed his left arm into a cannon and fired a bullet of compressed air, knocking Peckman out of the sky to the ground before tending to Blanc. Hang on, Blanc-chan. I'm healing you right now. Battle Chip, Recov 200. Naruto placed a hand on Blanc, healing her of her injuries. Thank you, Naruto, said Blanc gratefully. No prob. Sir, the enemy is about to attack again, said one of the Commandermon urgently. I'll stop them in their tracks. Battle Chip, Timpani. Naruto summoned a trumpet-looking virus which started to play a strange tune. Peckman and the others tried to move but came to realize that they couldn't even lift their feet. I can't move my feet, said Penguinman in shock. It must be because of that thing playing the music, said Peckman. Now then, time for a little combination. Naruto held out the Xaro's loader. Are you going to Digixrox? Asked Blanc. Naruto nodded in affirmation. Sistermon Noir, Commandermon? Digixrox. Two of the Commandermon converted into cobalt blue energy as they flew towards Noir's handguns, transforming them into high-tech dual SMGs. And Harpy from Hyperscape, Xaro's up. Sistermon Noir. Noir looked at her newly transformed guns with glee. Hey, now we're talking. Attack now, while they're not moving, said Naruto. Yes sir, open fire. The Commandramon proceeded to shoot at the opponents with their assault rifles. However, Peckman took aim at the timpani and launched a kunai feather to destroy it and quickly leapt into the air only for both the Penguinman and Toucanman to be taken down. I'm not going down just yet. Burning spiral. He performed a spinning variation of the spiral claw, only that the friction ignited the claw in flames. On the contrary, battle chip, flash bomb. Naruto flung an orb into the air which released a bright flash of light, stunning Peckman and disrupting its attack. Now you're all mine. Full auto, Noir took aim and fired a barrage of bullets rapidly, giving Peckman no chance of avoiding it and crashing down to the ground with all three opposing being down for the count. Music end, once more. Team Konoha is the winning team of this match by outmaneuvering Team Talon, the announcer declared. Nicely done everyone. Naruto reverted to his base form and the Digixrox deactivated with the two Commandramon separating from Noir's handguns. Thank you, sir, the Commandramon saluted in response. Ah, I was hoping to shoot them so more, Noir whined in disappointment. Sister, Blanc muttered softly. Team Konoha now has 2 wins under their belt. Will they be able to earn a third as they go up against Team Blaze? The announcer queried, with the next team entering the arena being 2 Meramon being led by a Flame Wizardmon. Now, let the third match begin. Music resume. Guys, I'll need you all to return to the Xaros loader while I deal with them, said Naruto intently, his mind constantly forming plans one after another. Don't tell me you plan on facing them alone, said Noir with a frown. Please let us remain to help, Blanc pleaded. Or bring us back out, Boa Huckman called out from the Xaros loader. Naruto shook his head in response. I need you guys to rest up for the next round, plus I intend on finishing this match quickly with a style change and the attacks that would damage everyone around. I don't want to risk any of you getting caught in the crossfire. Fine, but if you're in trouble, we're coming out to help whether you like it or not, said Noir with a frown before returning to the Xaros loader with the others in tow. Thanks. Now then. Activating style change. Style change activated. Equipping Aqua Custom Style. A blue dome appeared around Naruto before fading away to reveal the blonde in a different form. His bodysuit had changed, with the blue becoming lighter in color as the power pack on his back is larger and further upgraded with green gems built into the pack on his gloves. It appears that the leader intends to face Team Blaze on his own. We'll see if it is a wise decision or a foolhardy one, said the announcer. Pretty dumb of you to fight us all by yourselves, your funeral nonetheless. Get him, boys. Magma Bomb. One of the Meramon began throwing explosive rocks of magma, with Naruto having to dash in and out of range of the explosions around him when his HUD alerted him of a greater danger approaching him from the left side, and turned to see the second Meramon running towards him with both arms flaring with flames, burning fist. Naruto weaved in and out of the Digimon's attacks with short dashes and somersaults. He somersaulted into the air where he went for a counterattack. Battle chip. Copy DMG. He thrust a hand at the distant Meramon, causing a crosshair symbol to appear its chest. What is this thing? Asked the Meramon confusedly, rubbing at the symbol to get it off. Naruto landed on his feet in a crouch with a hand clenched into a fist. Battle chip. Guts punch. The fist suddenly enlarged to twice the size of his body before he sent the Meramon flying with a nasty punch. At the same time, the other Meramon was suddenly feeling the same level of damage like the other one. How's this possible? The Meramon groaned out in pain. The copy DMG enables me to duplicate the same damage which I inflict on the second enemy. In other words, it's like I hit the both of you at the same time, Naruto explained. His HUD alerted him of an incoming attack and quickly leapt into the air to evade a blast of fire which came from Flame Wizardmon. I'm not letting you get away from me, Fire Cloud. Flame Wizardmon waved his large red matchstick to conjure large fireballs which flew towards Naruto, who narrowly dodged but saw that they turned around and came at him again. TCH. They're like guided missiles. Naruto took off with the fireballs in pursuit, sliding and diving out of the way, but the fiery projectiles continued to pursue him. He detected movement and looked to see the 2 Meramon preparing to attack from a distance. Heatwave. The Meramon slammed their hands on the ground, launching a large wave of fire in his direction. Battle Chip. Aqua Whirl. Naruto quickly spun like a top, forming a water tornado around himself to put out flames entirely and continued on to slam into his opponents, knocking both of them out due to the elemental advantage. Now for you. Battle Chips, Triple Wide Shot 1. Program Advance executed. Super Spread V1. Naruto's right arm transformed in a cannon with a wide barrel as he began charging up energy before firing 3 consecutive shotgun blasts of water. Flame Wizardmon launched a large blast of fire to cancel them out, but it was easily doused and the water projectiles made contact with the target, putting him out of the fight. Music End, and once again, Team Konoha earns another victory, and this time with solo act. I've heard of generals leading their Digimon armies. Apparently this one doesn't follow that trend and is more willing to step into the battlefield himself. Perhaps we should call this one the Brawling General, don't you think so, folks? Said the announcer. Brawling General. Brawling General. Brawling General. Brawling General. Brawling General. The crowd chanted with excitement. He has a point there, you know. Most generals hang back and give commands. You do the opposite of that. Boa Huckman pointed out from inside the Xro's loader. Such a general suits me greatly, said Zuba Eagermon happily. Naruto rubbed the back of his head, whilst reverting to his base form. Thankfully, using the custom style change reduces the energy consumption of using battle chips and the program advance. Geez, you guys, it's nothing really. Well, aren't you a modest guy, said Noir playfully. Now then, the next match is about to begin, and this time there will be a change of scenery for this one, said the announcer. The arena shook a bit before rising a few feet off the ground, then the surrounding area began to fill up with water, much to the confusion of Naruto and the others. What's all this? Asked Naruto, confusedly looking around. With the stage all set, allow me to introduce Team Serpent, the announcer declared. The water suddenly burst, revealing the members of the aforementioned. Now we know why the arena went through the change, Naruto muttered, identifying the opponents to be a Mega Seed Ramon accompanied by 2 Seedramon. Not only that, we're going up against an Ultimate and 2 champions. This might prove tricky, said Noir with a frown. We'll just have to work around this, stay frosty and guard up, said Naruto with narrowed focus. Without further ado, let's begin, the announcer called out. Music Resume. Reload. Boa Huckman, Zuba Eagermon, Sistermons. Naruto called them out of the Xro's loader, and now, Boa Huckman. Zuba Eagermon. Digixrox. Zuba Eagermon glowed in a golden aura as he broke up into 3 parts before flying over to fuse with certain parts of Boa Huckman, revealing to be equipped with bladed gauntlets and a single-edged blade attached to the tail blade. Boa Huckman G Blade Mode. Alright then, let's do this. Naruto stood at the ready with the others doing the same. Thunder Javelin. Mega Seed Ramon fired electricity from its horn, causing the group to leap out of the incoming attack. It continued to launch bolts of lightning to try and land a hit on one of them. Hey, quit trying to fry us. Mickey Bullets. Noir swung her arms in wide arcs whilst firing rapidly to launch scattershots at all 3, disrupting Megaseedramon's attack. Go for it, sis. Alright. Divine Pierce. Blanc took aim with her trident and fired a yellow spiraling beam of energy at the Mega Seed Ramon. Water Shock. The 2 Seedramon came together to spew twin streams of compressed water which combined into one before clashing with Blanc's attack, overcoming it and knocking her off the arena into the water. Blanc. Noir called out in fear. I got her. Naruto rushed towards Blanc, who was trying to keeping herself just above the surface of the water. Mega Seed Ramon narrowed its eyes at Naruto. Dramon attack. It lunged at Naruto with intention to stab him with its horns when a gold and white blur intercepted its attack with a metallic clang, revealing it to be Boa Huckman, who was displeased. We're not gonna let you anywhere near our general. Boa Huckman growled angrily as he held Mega Seed Ramon at bay as Naruto leapt into the water and swam towards Blanc. Blanc-chan, are you okay? Asked Naruto in concern. I'm okay, said Blanc. Then she noticed something. Naruto, the Seedramon are heading this way towards us. Naruto looked over his shoulder to see said Digimon swimming at them at a fast pace. Stay away from them, bless fire. Noir rapidly fired her guns at one of the Seedramon, damaging it, but the other continued to approach them. Darn it. Blanc-chan, hold on to me tightly. said Naruto urgently. Blanc quickly complied as he made his move. Battle chip, air shoes. Jets of air shoot out from the soles of Naruto's feet, propelling himself and Blanc out of the water into the air. Here's something to remember us by. Battle chip. High cannon. Naruto's free arm transformed into a dark blue cannon as he fired a powerful round on the Seedramon to inflict a decent level of damage before landing back on the arena. You guys okay? Asked Noir. We're fine now, sister, thanks to Naruto. Blanc looked at the sheepish blonde with gratefulness. Guys, a little help here, Boa Huckman called while still holding the Mega Seed Ramon at bay with the Digimon becoming annoyed and switching plans. Thunderblade. The Mega Seed Ramon electrified its horn, which in turn zapped Boa Huckman, who was currently in contact, before constricting him with its body and proceeding to squeeze him tightly. Okay. A lot of help. Hang on buddy, we're coming. Naruto and the Sistermons moved in to help but were obstructed by the two Seedramons. We don't have time for this. Water wave. The Seedramon slammed their tails into the water to launch a large tsunami towards the trio. How are we going to get past this one? Asked Noir urgently. Naruto rapidly scrolled through the list of chips, with the pet system itself sifting through its arsenal before finding the chips best suited for the situation and showing it to him. Hope this works. Battle chip, ice ball. A cannonball of ice appeared in Naruto's hand, which he quickly threw at the tsunami, instantly freezing it upon impact. Battle chip, area steel. Naruto disappeared in a blur before reappearing above the Mega Seed Ramon. Battle chip, big hammer 1. He materialized a large hammer which he slammed right on top of the Digimon's head, making it let go of Boa Huckman, who lunged at it. Here's payback. Golden Cross. Boa Huckman channeled energy into the clawed gauntlets before unleashing a cross slash, knocking it out for the count with the Seedramon left in the fight. Let's wrap this up. Battle chip, tank can 1. Naruto summoned a large cannon which covered his upper body as he took aim at one of the Seedramon and fired a powerful round to take it out. Bless fire, piercing wave. Noir and Blanc combined their attacks together to defeat the remaining Seedramon, hence winning the match. Music end. There's just no stopping Team Konoha, they're becoming quite the crowd favorite here in the Coliseum, said the announcer. Only 2 more matches and they'll emerge as the champs of the tournament. The water was drained away, with the arena returning to the ground after the defeated Digimon were taken away for healing. You guys hear that? Only 2 more to go, said Naruto. We'll go all the way in this one, said Boa Huckman, deactivating the Digixrox for Zuba Eagermon to reappear next to him. Why yes, we'll do our best, said Blanc nervously. Alright you guys, we're gonna push even harder as our next opponents are going to be much tougher, but remember that we trained just as hard to get this far, said Naruto with determination, instilling the same feeling of fiery spirit in the others. Now I'm psyched, said Boa Huckman. I shall aim for nothing less than victory, said Zuba Eagermon with fire in his eyes. You certainly know how to fire up a team, said Noir playfully. Now, to introduce our next to last team, White Flame. The next Digimon to appear came as a bit of a surprise to Naruto and Boa Huckman, as they were none other than Flamen and Strabamon. Hey guys, you're a lot stronger than I thought you would be, said Flamen cheerfully. Strabamon merely crossed his arms with a scoff. Well, I can at least say that you aren't weak. I really dislike that standoffish attitude, Boa Huckman grumbled in annoyance. Easy there buddy, let's give it all and I hope you two will do the same, said Naruto. Flamen grinned in excitement. Took the words right out of our mouths. Your words, not mine, said Strabamon. The announcer called out, with such rising tensions, let the semifinals begin. Music start. Xenoblade Chronicles Ost. You will know our names. Noir-chan, Blanc-chan. I'll need you girls to go into the Xro's loader for now. I can somehow tell that these two are much stronger than they look, said Naruto with a small frown. For some reason, he swore that he saw 2 adult-shaped silhouettes hovering behind the 2 Digimon before disappearing. Okay then, but don't you dare lose, said Noir with a sigh, having gotten used to this by now. Wouldn't dream of it, Flamen. You'll face Boa Huckman and Zuba Eagermon while I go after their general, said Strabamon before dashing towards the opposing team at speeds unexpected of rookie-level Digimon. Flamen groaned at this. Sigh always taking the best part first, might as well, He too dashed at the targeted duo with similar unexpected speeds to engage them in close combat. Naruto's eyes widened in shock as Strabimon rushed right at him and leapt backwards whilst arming himself with the Mega Buster and fired rapidly to keep him at bay for the moment to regroup, but the Digimon darted left and right with white light trailing behind him as he drew ever closer. Licked Nagel. Strabimon's claws on both arms glowed brightly with white light as he slashed ferociously at Naruto, who was feeling like he was fighting Kiba back in the preliminaries of the Chunin exam, albeit this Digimon being more of a beast than his old friend. Battle Chips, Sword and Wide Sword. Naruto equipped both arms with varying blades of energy as he proceeded to block and deflect Strabimon's incoming attacks and responding with his own. Meanwhile, Boa Huckman and Zuba Eagermon were having it rough with Flamen, who despite being a rookie-level Digimon like Strabimon, is actually holding them at bay by himself much to their growing confusion. TCH. FIF Cross. Boa Huckman lunged at Flamen and attacked with a cross slash. Noble Heart. Flamen enshrouded his body in a fiery aura before launching into the air with a somersault to evade the attack, but Zuba Eagermon wasn't planning on letting him get away so easily. You will not escape. Road T. W. O Decade. He leapt towards Flamen whilst thrusting his bladed horn at him for an attack. However, Flamen performed an aerial spin kick to deflect Zubagermon's attack to the side whilst using the momentum for his counterattack, Flame Tail. The aforementioned fiery tail blazed with energy as it was used to send Zuba Eagermon crashing down to the ground and landing afterwards. Flame Toss. He went on to fling a barrage of fireballs towards Boa Huckman, who sliced them apart with his claws and tail blade. How's he this strong at this level? He fights like he has gone through numerous battles unlike the ones we faced, said Boa Huckman with a small frown. It may seem so, which is why we must fight even more strategically. Zuba Eagermon rose from the ground with caution. I was thinking the same thing. Back with Naruto, he was evening things out with Strabimon and beginning to land some hits, gaining an edge when the Digimon suddenly changed tactics without warning and gave him little time to react. Licked Bine. Strabimon's body began to glowing brightly before he beginning to move at speeds which make him appear as if he was vanishing in flashes of white light and blitzing Naruto from every direction and not giving a chance to defend himself. For the first time throughout the tournament, Team Konoha is being pushed back seriously by none other than Team White Flame. Could this be where their victory streak finally comes to an end? The announcer spoke, making the audience look on in tension. Naruto slid back on the ground with the energy blades long since broken from the assault before rising to his feet with a frown. He glanced to the side and saw Boa Huckman and Zuba Eagermon still trying to regain the momentum with Flamen not making it easy for them. We're getting pushed back, maybe I should, no I can't use that yet. I'll just have to try something else. Naruto snapped back into focus for his next move, activating Style Change. Style Change activated. Equipping Elec Shadow Style. A yellow dome appeared around Naruto, then it faded away to reveal the blonde in a different form. His blue bodysuit had changed to a ninja-like design with the blue being replaced with yellow. The elongated helmet resembling a streamlined biker's, a high collar, and two wing-like scarf attachments. Naruto's eyes narrowed upon seeing the white streak of light closing in on him and swung into action. Battle Chips. Area Steel. Kunai 1. He conjured a pair of kunai onto his hands with a nostalgic smile before disappearing in a blur as he easily kept up with Strabimon's speed, repeatedly clashing with the other all over the arena and even past the fight with the others. Strabimon frowned slightly at what's happening but remained ever focused. He suddenly made his move as he parried a slash to grab Naruto by the wrist and forcefully spin him around to slash at his opponent's back with his claws. Naruto began to fall to the ground when he was suddenly engulfed in smoke before revealing what appears to be a doll version of himself. Strabimon looked at the doll in confusion, an action which costed him as a voice called out. Battle Chip. Geyser. A fountain of water shot out from beneath the Digimon's feet, knocking him high into the air where Naruto was in mid-air and waiting for him with another attack at the ready. Battle Chip. Fire Hit 1. Naruto brought his hands together above his head as they ignited in flames before bringing them down in a hammer blow to slam Strabimon to the ground and landing afterwards. Strabimon groaned as he rose back to his feet to look at Naruto with a small smile. You're pretty good for an odd general. Naruto smirked in response. Right back at ya, you're just as strong. way beyond that of a regular rookie-level Digimon. Something drives the both of you to be this strong, isn't there? Even so, my team and I are gonna win this no matter what. We'll see about that. Licked Nagel. Strabamon lunged at Naruto once more with claws glowing with light energy. Okay then. Battle chips. Fire sword. Aqua sword. Naruto materialized dual blades, elementally enhanced with fire and water respectively, before responding in kind to clash in the middle with sparks flying as they fought to gain an edge over the other whilst making sure to cover up any weak spots. They clashed once more and struggled for dominance when Strabamon noticed that Naruto's eyes crinkled as if he's smiling. "What's so funny?" asked Strabamon warily. "It's been fun, but what? Time's up, wah." Beep. Strabamon glanced to the source of the sound only to be shocked upon seeing a bomb having just completed its countdown. Naruto broke away from the blade lock. Battle chip. Bar 100. Then he quickly formed a pink energy shield around himself. Darn I. Boom. The bomb detonated, sending Strabamon flying from the explosion and crashing to the ground, covered in soot and bruises. Hearing the explosion, Flamin looked over his shoulder only to be shocked at what just happened. Strabamon. He broke away from Boa Huckman and Zuba Eagermon to aid his friend only for Naruto to intercept. Battle chip. Magbolt 1. Naruto thrust out an arm as it transformed into a magnet which began to pull Flamin towards him, with the Digimon struggling to resist the pull. Get him, guys. FIF Cross, Vantheon. Boa Huckman and Zuba Eagermon combined their attacks together and slammed into Flamin, finally knocking him DWN for the count and winning the match for the team. Music end. There's just no stopping Team Konoha as they now advance to the finals with only one more match to win before being declared champions of the tournament, said the announcer, with the crowd growing excited at his words. Before then, we'll take a short break before that happens. Naruto sighed in relief at that before turning to the others. Take 5 guys, we definitely need it after going through 5 matches in a row. You're right, said Boa Huckman before reverting to Huckman. With the same for Zuna Eagermon reverting back to Zubamon. Being in a digivolved form for a while can take a lot out of you, which was why you had us rest in the XRO's loader earlier. Yeah, but even I need a moment to rest and prepare for this final match. The last team will be much stronger compared to the others, said Naruto. With that said, Naruto recalled the duo back into the XRO's loader and started walking out of the arena. But he couldn't help the feeling that someone is watching him very intently as he walked away. His feeling was actually on point, as the very same monitorman was watching all of the matches from start to finish and transmitting to another monitorman for someone to watch with interest. Thanks for waiting, ladies and gentlemen, as we're back from our 20-minute break to what would be a most promising finale to a memorable tournament, the announcer spoke through the loudspeaker. Now, let us welcome back the fan favorite. They've been blowing through numerous oppositions to get to this point and need just one more win to reach the top. Let's give it up for Team Konoha. Naruto and Co stepped into the arena and waved at the excited crowd. And their final opponents. These guys have proven to be quite tough, not pulling any punches to get to where they are now. Here comes Team Black. Naruto took out his XRO's loader to scan the approaching members of the opposing team, and their black were Geruruman, Dinohumon, Apeman and Karatenman acting as the leader. I'm impressed that you've come this far, but this is where your road ends, said Karatemon arrogantly. Naruto smirked in response. We'll see about that. Time to put your Diginoir where your mouth is. Little punk, you have no idea who you're facing, said Apeman in annoyance. We could say the same for you. Let's do this, guys. Right. The Digimon in the XRO's loader responded in unison. Music start. Kingdom Hearts Ost, Shrouding Dark Cloud. Reload. Boa Huckman, Zuba Eagermon, Naruto called out, with the aforementioned Digimon emerging from the XRO's loader to fight. I'll go after Karatemon while you guys face off with the others, but don't hesitate to switch targets and team up. Got it. Boa Huckman nodded in affirmation before selecting Dinohumon as his first target. By the 20th glint of my blades, it will be done. Zuba Eagermon targeted Black were Geruruman and charged to fight it. Naruto dashed towards Karatemon while low on the ground when Apeman got in the way to intercept with an attack. Not so fast. Magical Monkey Punch. Apemon's fists ignited with flames, then proceeded to attack with a series of flaming punches. Backing away whilst sharply bobbing and weaving around the attacks akin to that of a boxer, Naruto rapidly scrolled through the chip archive to select a suitable one for a counter-attack. Battle. Chip. Fire hit 1. His fists also ignited in flames before retaliating in kind with fiery jabs and straight punches, taking advantage of his speed and small size to evade and counter. He found an opportunity the moment he ducked underneath his opponent's straight punch to launch a fiery uppercut under Apemon's chin, launching the Digimon into the air for an additional attack. Battle Chip. High Cannon. He transformed his right arm into a blue cannon and fired a powerful round. Apemon recovered in midair with a scowl. Bone Strike. He took the large femur bone from his back and swung to deflect the incoming projectile away from him. Don't think you can beat me so easily. Metallic Fur. He hardened his fur to the point of being similar to metal, then proceeded to fire needle-like hairs from his body towards the target below. Talk about deja vu. It's a good thing I remember how to counter this. Battle Chip. Wind. He summoned a large industrial fan and activated it to blow a powerful gust of air to blast away the needle-like hairs and knock Apemon down to the ground. That's it, now I'm mad. Mega Bone Stick. Apemon charged at Naruto whilst enlarging his bone to the size of a redwood to attack, forcing the blonde into the defensive once more to avoid the enraged attacks of the simian-like Digimon. And here I thought I wouldn't see an angry monkey in real life trying to maim me. Son Goku was more likable back home. Naruto muttered to himself before snapping back into focus. Time to end this rampage before it goes out of control. Battle Chip. Varsword. His right arm transformed into a light green energy blade shaped like a ship's anchor before clashing with Apemon's bone whilst revealing its ability to alter its length and width for an altering range of attacks. Naruto somersaulted backwards to evade a horizontal swing from Apemon, then unleashed a burst of speed upon landing on the ground to close the gap between them and unleashed a combo of slashes with its shape-shifting abilities before finishing with a diagonal slash for the knockout. Impressive, but don't expect the same with me, said Karatemon with his arms crossed. Naruto brandished the energy sword to his side. Let's find out. Foxfire. Black Wargaruruman opened its mouth to breathe out a stream of high-temperature blue flames towards Boa Huckman, who didn't hesitate to respond in kind. Burn flames. He breathed out his own stream of red flames with both attacks colliding in the middle and began to push back and forth in a struggle for dominance which resulted in a fiery explosion. Boa Huckman maintained caution, which soon proved to be a wise action as he detected movement and immediately jumped to the side right before a fist of black fur donning a spiked brass knuckle shot out from the cloud of black smoke with him as the target, with Black Wargaruruman making his reappearance. FIF Cross. Boa Huckman lunged at the Black Wargaruruman with his claws ready to strike. Wolf Claw. But Black Wargaruruman responded in kind with its own claws as they rapidly clashed consecutively before the latter suddenly switched tactics. Garuru Kick. He dodged a claw attack, then countered with a spin kick to send Boa Huckman tumbling away. Give it up, you don't stand a chance, said Black Wargaruruman. Boa Huckman got back up to speak in defiance. Hearing that only makes me want to prove you wrong. Your funeral then. Half Moon Kick. Black Garuruman lashed out with a kick powerful enough to launch a blade of energy towards Boa Huckman, who leapt into the air to evade it before diving towards him. Dragri Spiker. He attacked with his bladed legs. Baldy Blow. Black Garuruman retaliated by launching a punch with his spiked brass knuckles, leading to yet another clash. Give it up, I can match your every move. Say that after you win, which by the way is not gonna happen, especially since I'm still in this Teen Blade. Boa Huckman lashed out with his tail whilst twisting his body to spin and whirl, knocking Black Garuruman's arms away and landing consecutive hits. It's over. FIF Cross. Upon landing on the ground, Boa Huckman lunged at Black Garuruman and slashed rapidly with his claws before ending the combo with a cross slash for the knockout. Lizard Dance. Zuba Eagermon was also occupied with deflecting and parrying the incoming of Dinohumon, who was attacking with a series of quick and short slices with his arm blades. Zuba Eagermon wished to dash straight up and attack without hesitation, but recalled the training which he underwent with Naruto and the others beforehand, to attack in ways unexpected but still in resonance with their natural instincts. The opportunity soon showed itself when Dinohumon went in for a low slash. Zuba Eagermon somersault D into the air overhead to land behind him. Road T. W. O decade. He rammed into the enemy's back all the while yelling, 20th. Sending him tumbling across the arena before recovering to his feet with a frown on his face. Alright, you're starting to get on my nerves, Dino Slash. Dinohumon unholstered the greatsword from his back and went on to attack Zuba Eagermon, with the latter responding in kind with his tail blade. Thanks to Naruto's training, a bit of references from the videos which he had downloaded into the pet, Zuba Eagermon became even more versatile in the usage of his tail blade as he utilized spinning jumps and flips in combat, making it difficult for Dinohumon to land a proper hit on him. I've had enough of this, Akinake's. Dinohumon went to attack with a mighty swing of his greatsword. I see then, Vantheon. Zuba Eagermon curled up and began spinning with his tail out to resemble that of a bladed wheel as he charged at Dinohumon and collided with the greatsword. Zuba Eagermon continued to spin faster with increasing speed, with sparks flying from the struggle of both blades. Dinohumon began to notice that he was gradually getting pushed back and his greatsword is turning red from the heat caused by the friction before breaking apart for Zuba Eagermon to land the decisive blow. Back with Naruto, he's been having some trouble fighting Karatemon. For some reason, he seems to be able to predict any move he makes and avoids them before he executes them completely. Battle Chips. Boomerang. Yo-yo. His arms transformed into the aforementioned gear as he first launched the boomerang, which Karatemon evaded by flying into the air. Then Naruto followed up by launching the large bladed yo-yo next in a wide arc, but that too was avoided with a quick dash to the side. Naruto's eyes glinted upon seeing the thrown boomerang coming back around and about to strike from behind, only to be disappointed when Karatemon spun round and deflected with one of his swords. TCH, it's like I'm fighting Neji all over again. Been getting a lot of deja vu today, thought Naruto with a frown. Karatemon landed back on the ground with a scoff. It's useless to continue fighting me. With my Satori, I can read your spirit to anticipate your every move. In other words, it's like the Sharingan but not requiring the eyes. Think I'll need a change in strategy, thought Naruto before snapping back into focus. Battle Chip. Invisible. He disappeared from everyone's view, but Karatemon remained ever calm. He spun around and swung his sword to clash with something in front of him. This continued for a few more times before he lashed out with a kick, making contact and forcing Naruto to become visible again, albeit wincing in pain of being hit in the chest. Don't think that disappearing from my view will protect you from being detected by my Satori, said Karatemon. Darn it, there's gotta be a way so that I can get a critical hit in. Naruto frowned before recalling something which gave him an idea. Battle Chips. Step Cross. White Capsule. Naruto's arms transformed into energy blades which are outlined with white aura before disappearing in a blur. I thought I told you that it's useful. Karatemon was interrupted from his retort as a slash suddenly appeared on his side and Naruto stood behind him with his blades outstretched. What? Naruto looked over his shoulder. Think fast, birdie. He disappeared yet again in a blur. Karatemon foresaw his opponent's next action and was about to react, but noticed that his body felt numb and that he couldn't move. Naruto reappeared again, and this time multiple slashes appeared all over Karatemon's body as he collapsed to the ground. How could you hit me? I recalled something in the past. A guy like you had the same ability, but someone else revealed that even if you can see what is going on, it won't matter a thing if your body can't react fast enough. Plus I used the white capsule to add a paralytic effect to my attacks, preventing you from moving around. You may be able to anticipate my attacks, but that doesn't mean you would know their exact effects, Naruto pointed out. Looks like I underestimated you, Karatemon groaned. It's no surprise, especially since you're a part of the Bagra army. Music end. This drew gasps of shock from everyone watching this. Karatemon was silent before speaking up. How did you know? Let's just say that a stool pigeon alerted us that faction of the Bagra army would try to get at the code crown through the tournament, since it's the only way to obtain. Plus, the way you fought clued us in, said Naruto. I see. Karatemon rose to his feet and raised his hand to the skies. Then there's no longer a point to continue this facade. He snapped his fingers, causing multiple digital portals to appear in the sky as soldiers of the Bagra army consisting of Apemen, Kangarumon, Black Geruruman and Dinohumon began to emerge and land in the arena. We'll destroy you all and obtain the code crown for Bagramon-sama. Like we're going to allow that. A voice called out as two figures landed before Naruto, revealing to be Flamen and Strabamon. You too? Asked Karatamon. It's no surprise that you wouldn't recognize us, since these weren't the forms we were in when you ambushed us, said Strabamon. Forms? The ones we attacked was, Karatamon's eyes widened in realization. That's right, we really are. Flamen and Strabamon began to concentrate, emitting auras of red and white respectively, leaving only their silhouettes to be visible. Their sizes changed from teenagers to that of full-grown adults before the auras dissipated to reveal who they are, much to the shock of many. In place of Flamen is an adult-sized humanoid Digimon clad in a black bodysuit and red armor with flame shoulder pauldrons, as well as long spiky blonde hair reaching down to his waist. In place of Strabamon is an adult-sized humanoid Digimon clad in a black bodysuit and white and lavender armor with a long scarf. Almost touching the ground. Oh my goodness, it's Agunimon and Lobomon, the twin champions of the Colosseum. They were believed to have gone missing until now, said the announcer in shock of the revelation. I thought I had gotten rid of you both, said Karatamon in annoyance. Lobomon crossed his arms in response. You almost did. We had barely survived by retrogressing to our rookie forms, which took a lot of time to recover and train to regain our strength. And now it's payback time for trying to kill us and take over the Colosseum zone, said Agunimon, taking on a fighting stance. Naruto stepped forward with a smirk. Hope you don't mind if we join in on the fun. Lobomon shrugged in response. Do as you like, just don't get in the way. Naruto chuckled in amusement before taking out the Xaro's loader. Okay. Time to move to the next level. I've been waiting for this, said Boa Huckman excitedly. Zuba Eagermon nodded in agreement. Indeed, the time has finally come. Okay then. Naruto held out the Xaro's loader as the screen began to glow brightly. Boa Huckman. Zuba Eagermon. Super Digivolution. Two golden beams of energy descended from the sky to engulf the two Digimon, filling them with far more energy than what they usually obtain as they transformed into higher forms of power. Boa Huckman Super Digivolved too. His body grew to even larger size than before and has changed into a bipedal shape, capable of walking on 2 feet in spite of them being blades. In addition, crimson blades extend from both of his arms and tail, and his blade-covered body has an aqua-colored crystal embedded in his chest along with his tattered red cloak now converted to a cape. Savior Huckman. Zuba Eagermon Super Digivolved too. His body also grew in size and became bipedal. His arms and tail are replaced with large double-edged broadswords, razor-sharp claws on his feet, and the number 20 is now on his chest. Duraman. I see, so you were saving this for the right moment, said Lobomon. Naruto smirked. That we were, and this is the right moment for a debut. Karatamon scowled at this. I won't change anything, not when I can do this. He proceeded to absorb the data of the downed members of his team into himself, growing larger and becoming equipped with samurai armor with his swords becoming broadswords. You will not defeat us. Allow us to test that theory. Naruto shifted to his Elect Shadow style change. Let's start streaming this battle live. Music start. Final Fantasy XIII 2 Ost, Last Hunter. I'll start first. Burning Salamander. Agunimon punched his fists together to ignite them in flames before thrusting them forward to launch a fire blast in the shape of a roaring dragon head. Karatamon took to the air to avoid the fiery projectile, but some of the Bagger soldiers ended up getting hit and burned up. HMPH, impatient as always, Lobomon took out a pair of sword handles which he activated to create blades of light. Might as well take part, licked Seeger. He dashed forward with the light swords pointed to the ground, swiftly reached the enemies where he went on to hack and slash with skill and speed. Sway Seeger, he performed a cross slash to launch a ball of light, blasting several of the soldiers away. Not bad, but we're just as good. Resist raid. Savior Huckman leapt into the air and attacked with a flying kick, slicing through many of the Bagger soldiers and landing in their midst. Trident Saber. He assaulted the enemy with the 3 red blades equipped to his tail and arms, relentlessly cleaving them apart regardless of any form of defense they could use. Duraman charged towards his targeted group with a glint in his eyes. Allow me to display the might of Team Konoha. Glass Rush. He sliced at the enemy with the blades on both of his arms with lines of golden energy trailing from every swing of his sword, cutting down any that stood in his way. Over with Naruto, he apparently has more enemies targeting him compared to the others. Wow. They must not really like me, huh? Must mean that I'm doing a good job of being a pain in their boss's butt. Battleship. Vulcan 1. Naruto repositioned himself at a distance as his arm transformed into a Gatling gun which began to spin before rapidly firing bullets, mowing down numerous amounts of enemies before having to dive to the side to avoid energy waves launched by some of the black Gerurumen. There's more where that came from. Battleship. Meteor 9. He materialized a magic wand into his hand which he then waved to call down fiery meteors from the sky to crash down on his targets. Shogekia. Naruto's HUD alerted him of an attack and looked up to see Karatemon flaps his jet black wings, launching his razor-sharp feathers with a shockwave. Naruto evaded the attack by switching out with a body double and reappearing out of range. I won't let you escape from me this time. Iritaka no Ken. Karatemon swooped down towards Naruto with both swords drawn to attack, when a white blur intercepted him, revealing to be Lobomon. I believe I have a grievance to settle with you, licked Clyden. Lobomon dashed forward as he was engulfed in a mass of light energy, in the shape of a biting wolf's head. Karatemon took to the sky to evade the attack, but Agunimon was also targeting him as he leapt to the air. You're not getting away from us, Salamander Break. He spun with his arms in flames, engulfing himself in a fire tornado and using the momentum to attack with a powerful flaming spin kick. Again, Karatemon evaded the attack by flying sideways. There's no way you can touch me with my Satori active. He was taken by surprise upon hearing a voice from behind him. Battleship. Step Sword. Naruto sliced off Karatemon's wings in one stroke, causing him to plummet to the ground where Lobomon was waiting with his arm cannon charged up. Intensive licked Kugel. He fired a large energy sphere, blasting the enemy towards Agunimon, who caught him by the neck and reared a fist back. Gotcha now. Million Gatling Burst. He unleashed a barrage of rapid punches with one hand before sending him flying with a powerful straight punch. This can't be happening, Karatemon groaned as he struggled back to his feet. But it is. We're not going to let you take over this zone, Naruto declared with a glare. Battleships. Step Sword. Hero Sword. Step Cross. Program Advance executed. Evil Cut. Naruto stood sideways in an EI stance as his arm transformed into an energy blade pointed diagonally to the ground. He disappeared from view before reappearing behind Karatemon with his eyes closed and everywhere being silent until the latter screamed in agony as slash marks appeared all over his body before breaking apart into specks of data, with Naruto opening his eyes and remaining silently until the Digimon disappeared completely. And that's it for this livestream, said Naruto with a smirk. Music End. Naruto was snapped out of his thoughts as he heard cheering all around him and looked up to see that the spectators were cheering for him and the others, much to his shock, which he made known vocally. They were still here the whole time. I thought everyone evacuated when the Bagra army showed up, said Naruto disbelief. The Sistermons emerged from the Xaro's loader next to him. My guess is that they were too amazed by the fight to even think of leaving, said Noir with a shrug. Surely, that can't be the reason, said Blanc with a small frown. Regardless, we were able to defeat the Bagra army and protect this zone, said Agunimon. Then he reverted back into Flamen, with the same going for Lobomon as well. Why did you two revert? Asked Naruto. We haven't fully recovered from what had happened to us. It might take some time before regaining our full strength, Strabamon explained. Yeah, it's kinda embarrassing that they could get a hit on us like that. Flamen rubbed the back of his head with a sheepish expression. Suddenly, there was a flash of yellow overhead, causing everyone to look up and see an SD memory card with an image of a sword and shield on it while encased in a yellow octahedral translucent shell of light as it slowly descended towards Naruto with his Xaro's loader glowing. Naruto lightly tapped the shell for it to disappear and the code crown to drop into his hands. We've got the code crowd for the Colosseum zone. Sweet. One more for us and one less for the Bagra army, said Savior Huckman happily. In spite of everything that happened, particularly the unexpected attack by the Bagra army, I am honored to declare the champions of the tournament to be Team Konoha. We would like to extend our congrats for your victory and gratitude for protecting us from the enemy, said the announcer. The crowd cheered loudly in agreement. Brawling General. Team Konoha. Brawling General, Team Konoha. Brawling General, Team Konoha. Brawling General, Team Konoha. The crowd chanted repeatedly. Naruto felt embarrassed with how everyone is cheering for him, reminds him of the hero's welcome by Konoha after winning his fight against Pain. Sometime later, a day after the tournament, Naruto and Ko were with Flamen and Strabamon over at the training area to discuss what would happen next after this. "So, what you guys have planned as of now?" asked Flamen curiously. Naruto hummed in thought before speaking. "Well, we'll be heading out for the next zone to find the code crown of the zone whilst helping the residents with any problems and likely driving away any forces of the Bagra army that we might run into there. It's pretty much our main objective so far. Help the Digimon and get the code crown before the Bagra army. If we get much stronger, we could retake the code crowns from them too," said Huckman. "That's a big if, Huckman. Remember what Sistermon Seal warned us about. The generals of the Bagra army are very powerful. Just because you can digivolve to the ultimate level, it doesn't mean we're more than ready to take them on just yet," said Noir. "It doesn't change the fact we'll all get stronger as we move forward. We'll definitely beat the Bagramon and his army, restoring the digital world to what it's supposed to be. I swear upon my ninja way," said Naruto with eyes full of fairy determination. Huckman and Zubamon looked at the blonde general with admiration. Flamen grinned at those words and spoke up. "Then you won't mind if we join the ride? You wish to join us on our mission?" asked Zubamon. Strabamon scoffed in response. "HMPH, don't get the wrong idea. We're just making sure that our code crown is well protected while in your hands." "What is that supposed to mean?" asked Huckman with a frown. "It's just his way of saying that he wants to join too," said Flamen sheepishly, long since used to the standoffish attitude of his best friend. Naruto smiled in understanding. "Glad to have you two joining in the fight. I'll also see about fixing you two up concerning the damage USP. "What's the matter, Naruto?" asked Blanc. Everyone was also wondering why he stopped in mid-sentence. Naruto glared at a tree which was a short distance away from them. "You can come out now. You've been there for quite a while now and not exactly giving me a good impression." There was a tense moment of silence before footsteps were heard as someone walked out from behind the tree and revealing themselves to Naruto and the others, surprising them that they're actually human. She's a girl about Naruto's height with long brown hair which is tied up with a yellow hairclip. She wears a purple dress with black trimmings, a white lab coat over the dress, several gold chains worn around the neck, and a pair of pale yellow cowboy boots with pink trims. "What a pretty girl," thought Naruto before snapping back into focus. "Who are you and why were you eavesdropping on us?" The girl smiled without a hint of fear or nervousness. "Nene Amano is my name and you have caught my interest. Naruto Uzumaki, General of Team Konoha. This is Huspec Online with the latest chapter. Naruto and Ko underwent some last-minute training before going to take part in the tournament at the Coliseum where they had to go through a series of arena matches in order to win the championship. Naruto and his team won every match whilst displaying their growing proficiency in combat and debuted the usage of the Digixaros in their battles, even defeating the duo of Strabamon and Flamen who showed to be much stronger than their supposed level. It was during the final match against Team Black that they revealed them to be members of the Bagra army attempting to obtain the code crown, as well as Flamen and Strabamon revealing to actually be the champions of the Coliseum zone but barely survived by retrogressing to their rookie forms by Team Black's ambush. There was an all-out brawl where Naruto revealed his trump card of now being able to digivolve his Digimon to their ultimate level, hence defeating the Bagra army and earning the code crown. But before preparing to leave for the next zone with Strabamon and Flamen joining the team, the group were approaching by a human girl called Nene Amano. Who is she and what does she want with Naruto? As you read, Naruto has begun to utilize the Digixaros mechanic with the Digimon, with more to come in future chapters. For those wondering about Naruto's other power-ups, don't worry, as they'll definitely be made available for him to access besides the style change. A quick question. Should Naruto go to the Lake Zone to meet Taiki or continue on to another OC zone before going there? Team Konoha members and harem. Huckman, partner. Coronaman Lunaman Ryudamon Oramon * Cannonbeamon Sistermon Noir. Harem. * Sistermon Blanc. Harem. * Sistermon Seal. Harem. Basedman, harem. Zubamon * Doramon Gatamon. Anjouamon, harem. Black Gatomon, Lady Devamon, harem. Renamon, Sakuyamon, harem. Ranamon, harem. Lilymon, harem. Lilimon, harem. Ignitemon, Mervamon's brother. Belstarmon, harem. Kazimon, harem. Ancient Mermaidmon, harem. Medieval Dukemon. Strabamon joined Flamon joined Commandermon X7 Impmon, new. Pegasusmon, new. Ludomon, new. Nene Amano, harem. Be sure to read and review as always. This is Husbeck from Ghana. Signing out and staying alive. Going Bananas Ninja of the Digixrox. Battle Network Chapter 7, Going Bananas. Everyone in Team Konoha including the newly joined Flamon and Strabamon looked at the mysterious girl who goes by the name Nene Amano with confusion as well as wariness due to the fact that she came looking for them or more specifically, Naruto himself. "How do you know my name when we've never met before?" asked Naruto with caution, the ninja in him making the blonde keep a guard up. Nene smiled in response. "It would be impossible not to know of you, given how you differ greatly compared to the other generals." "What do you mean by that?" asked Noir. Normally, a general would hang back in the rear to send commands to his army or utilize the Digixrox in battle. Nene glanced at Naruto. Him on the other hand, actually partakes in battle alongside his army without hesitation as seen in the arena matches at the Colosseum. Huckman puffed his chest out with pride. "That's our general, it's obvious that he would be one of a kind." "I gotta admit that he's got fire," said Flamon in agreement whilst Strabamon simply crossed his arms and gave a small nod. "But what exactly is your reason for looking for me?" asked Naruto curiously. "To know of your reason why you fight, it is apparent that you chose to come here without hesitation when you could have refused and remained in the real world. So, why do you fight?" Naruto crossed his arms and looked up to the blue digital sky while humming in thought for a moment before speaking up. "If there's a way I can put it, then it would be because I cannot look the other way when someone needs my help and pretend that it doesn't concern me. I've always strived to be someone who can save those who have not been saved." He recalled the memories of when he and Team 7 saved the Land of Waves and restored their hopes. Additional memories of when he saved people like Gaara, Neji, Sasuke, Tsunade and many others from the shackles of darkness that bounded them to the past so they could move forward to brighter futures. The only time evil truly wins is when good people choose to do nothing to stop it. "As expected of our general, just like a royal knight," said Huckman happily. "Such words, they truly reach the very core of my soul," said Zubamon with teary eyes of admiration. "He certainly reminds us of Gankumon, doesn't he?" asked Noir. Blanc nodded in affirmation. "He does, like he's the human version of him." Nene was taken aback by Naruto's statement as she wasn't expecting such a response from someone close to her age. "I see. Hold up, you said that Naruto is different from the regular generals. Does that mean there are other humans in the digital world with armies of their own?" asked Huckman curiously. "You're right, there are other humans operating as generals here in the digital world," said Nene. "Care to tell us who exactly they are and what their purpose is?" asked Strabamon. "I would. But that would be ruining the surprise reveals in the future. Anything else you'd like to ask?" Naruto hummed thoughtfully for a moment before speaking. "Just one question, are you a general as well?" Nene blinked at the question. "What makes you ask that? You yourself said that there are other humans operating as generals here in the digital world, which could mean that you're also a general. Hard to think of why else you would come here looking for me," Naruto pointed out. Nene smiled before speaking. "You really are different from the others, to be this observant. Quite beating around the digital bush. Just why are you telling us all this?" Noir demanded. The girl looked thoughtful for a moment before finally responding. "Why did I do this? It's because strong boys that don't hesitate to leap directly into battle are attractive to me." "Huh?" Everyone blinked in confusion, then they heard the sound of a whistling kettle before turning to look only to be surprised to see Naruto's face being redder than a cherry with steam coming out of his ears. "Why are you blushing?" asked Zubamon. Naruto looked away shyly. Not very good at, receiving compliments, an unfortunate side effect from his past life which shouldn't have followed him into his new one." "HMPH, who'd have thought that would be your weakness," said Strabamon. Noir grabbed Naruto's shoulders and shook him rather violently. "Enough with the shy guy act and get with the program. Time to go to the next zone and get ourselves a code crown. Naruto snapped back into focus and looked away from Nene so as not to see her expression. Right. He brought out the Colosseum Zone's code crown and inserted it into a slot on the side of the XRO's loader. Zone transfer. A green beam of light shot out of the screen to form a swirling green vortex before them. Okay guys. Time to. Huh? Naruto looked around and noticed that Nene's nowhere to be seen. She's gone. Noir simply scoffed. Well, it's better for us. That girl gives me weird vibes, just up and starts acting as an informant. I think we should be careful around her, said Blanc reluctantly. We can think about this later. I can feel my flames just about to ignite at the thought of what we'll be encountering in the next zone, said Flamin excitedly. All right then, let's go everyone, said Naruto holding out his XRO's loader. Right. All of the Digimon leapt into the XRO's loader before Naruto leapt into the vortex towards their next destination. After floating through the mainstream for some time, Naruto finally reached the end and emerged before looking around to see where he is. Apparently, he was standing in a bamboo forest with some grown larger than others as Naruto looked around and even saw mountains in the distance. We're here everyone, Naruto called out. The XRO's loader glowed before the Sistermons, Huckman, Zubamon, Flamin and Strabamon emerged to look around. Don't think I'll be liking this zone very much, too much greenery for my taste, said Flamin, looking around the area. It's a given since we wouldn't want you to start any forest fires, said Strabamon with his arms. Flamin rolled his eyes in response. Oh sure, rub it in why don't you? Guys, chill out. We need to find a settlement or any signs of the Bagra army here. In fact, Naruto took out the XRO's loader. Reload, Oromon. He called out the owl like scouting Digimon. What can I do for you, General? Asked Oromon curiously. Could you scope out the place for any town or village and report back to us? Asked Naruto. Will do. Just leave it to me. Oromon flew away whilst remaining low to avoid detection from any enemy snooping around. So, what do we do while waiting for Oromon to come back? Asked Huckman. I could run a check on Flamin and Strabamon so I can see about the injuries you told us about back in the Colosseum zone, said Naruto. You mean you can fix our damage? Asked Strabamon.